And we are live. Do you know what this feels like? This feels like midnight coffee. That's what this feels like.
That's how I'm going to treat it.
Just a regular discussion. That's all it is. Just a regular discussion. It's just a beautiful thing to just have a discussion without always battling, debating, you know.
Yes.
But today we're going to be talking about Trump gives Palestine to Israel. Do you agree or disagree? I've got here with me my brother Hassan. Um, he's a Muslim, I'm a Christian, and we are having a normal conversation. Hassan might share some videos, guys, along the discussion. Um, you know, and but yeah, do you agree or disagree, bro? Trump gives Palestine to Israel. What's your thoughts on that? And shout out to everyone watching, man. Shout out to everyone watching. Do you agree, bro? Trump gives Palestine to Israel. If you got some videos to share, bro, just share them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do I think on the topic? Do I think Israel? Do I think Trump should give Gaza to Israel? No, I don't think he should. I don't think it's fair. I don't think that was the original objective. How can you say that your objective is to get rid of Hamas, and then all of a sudden you want to get rid of Gaza or the people of Gaza, and just build over it? That's forcing people to be refugees. That is displacement. That is pretty horrible turn of events. If he said it from the beginning, still horrible, but it wouldn't be so two-faced. It wouldn't be so sinister. If they said we want to occupy Gaza, pretty much, we want that jurisdiction under our absolute control. Okay, then fair enough. Then we know what your intentions are. We know what's going on. Still wrong. I mean, kind of wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Why is it wrong? I agree with you that they've this whole thing to me seems planned.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. All right. I think the whole thing was a setup. Me and you, we've had discussions about this, and we've touched on this subject already before we even decided to do a live on it. I believe the entire thing was planned, personally. Okay, and I believe that Hamas fell into it. They fell for the trick. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
But why is it wrong?
I'm in relation to October 7th events.
No. Morally speaking, October 7th was evil. You know what I mean? But then again, you can argue from both sides that they've done evil things to each other, right? You can make that argument, right? But why is it wrong that another group of people, took over another group of people? Why is that wrong?
Another group of people took over another group of people. Is that what happened here?
Well, they're taking their land, so I'm thinking that's what's happened.
Oh, but your question needs context.
No. I'm saying, look, what? Come on, let's just be honest here. What's happening?
We're not being dishonest so far. So.
Yeah. What's happening here is that, well said. What's happening here is that the Palestinians have been completely removed out of Gaza. They're going to be removed and they're going to be put into, I don't know, Egypt, Levant, those regions. So what's wrong with that?
What crime have the people of Gaza committed?
The crime that they've committed is being in that land.
Okay. How's that a crime?
I'm speaking from a Jewish perspective. I'm not. By the way, I'm a Christian.
Sure.
If I was talking about as a Christian,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done what Trump is doing. You know,
Yeah.
as a
It's
but
untraditional, you're saying.
yeah, yeah. As a Jew, you know, they believe that that land belongs to them. They believe that Muslims should not be part of that land because regardless of what they say, that's really how they feel, in my opinion. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's
Uh-huh.
my opinion, by the way, guys. You guys can disagree with me all you want, but that's my opinion. I believe that they did to reclaim what they call their land. So they want their land back.
And the action so far suggests that that's what they're thinking.
Sorry,
The action so far suggests what you said.
absolutely, 100%. Anyone who I mean, come on, man. Like, look at what's happening. Look, you'll know them by the fruits, right? People can say whatever they want to say, but it's the actions that lets you know what people are really doing. What people are really thinking. It's not what comes out of their mouth; is what they do. So my only thing is what is wrong with another group of people? Like I said, I'm not a Jew. I'm a Christian, so I'm speaking from a Jewish perspective right now. They want that land. They want to take over that land. What's wrong with them taking over that land?
What's wrong with them taking over that land?
Yeah.
It's not theirs.
Okay. Cool. But they think it's theirs.
Yes. All of it.
Yeah, they think it's theirs.
Yes.
And they have their arguments as to why it's theirs. They have the reasons. They have the what I mean. They have all of that, right? They believe it's their land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with them taking over that land?
Well, you can believe something is yours. Doesn't mean you have the right to take it away. I can believe that, or someone could. Don't put it up. I'm just in the background.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
apologize.
because it's going to distract from us
Yeah.
talking. That's why I took it off last time. The other one. But just because you think something is yours doesn't mean it is yours. And then if you want to claim it, which is the second point that's an issue, then how do you go about claiming it? Do you take the long game? Do you slowly come into the area and develop it and be a part of the society and slowly adapt to the society? Or do you kill and murder the innocent men, women, and children who've done nothing to you? We're in they're taking the path of actually having no regard for human life in Gaza. So by any measure, their rights of owning that land has been violated by their inhuman behavior.
But I mean, if you were to take a land that does not belong to you, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, bro. How peaceful could that possibly be? It wouldn't be very peaceful, especially when the people that you are conquering are believe that that land belongs to them as well. So it's never going to be a peaceful process. It's never going to be one where one group just says, "Okay, cool, it's fine, you can have it." It's always going to be some fighting involved. That's always going to happen, right? Um, the thing is what I'm basically saying. I'm trying to get to the root of it so that we don't, I mean, we don't go around in circles.
Yeah.
Like, countries basically take over countries, all right?
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? Countries take over countries. People conquering other nations has been going on for the longest, right?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, we live in modern times. The rules are a bit different. Back in the days would have been a little bit more brutal because we didn't have human rights and shit like that. Sorry for swearing. I apologize. And stuff like that. So it would have been a little bit different. I mean, we wouldn't be having this debate worldwide. No, we didn't have the technology back then anyway. But the point that I'm trying to make is like, but essentially what is happening is just another group of people conquering another group of people and removing another group of people,
Yeah. Forcefully.
into their beliefs. Now you're saying that you've brought up murder. They killed their children. They're killing people to do that, and so on and so forth. But it's almost like you're coming from a humanist perspective that but the thing is, what's happening now is what they're doing is they saying, well, we're not going to murder anyone. We've pretty much, kind of destroyed Hamas. What we're just going to do is just remove the people out. So they're not going to kill anyone, and they will, according to Trump, offer them beautiful homes, and they're going to live good lives. I mean, I'm happy for the Palestinians in the sense of their kids are not going to be murdered anymore. Palestinians are not going to be killed anymore. I'm happy about that. I personally, I don't agree with the whole moving them out of that land. I don't agree with that as a Christian. I think that was wrong because that was, like you said in the beginning, that was not the plan. The plan was never that. The plan was to remove Hamas, not to remove the Palestinian people out of Gaza. So I completely understand you on that perspective. So my only thing is that regardless what is wrong with that, regardless what is wrong with what they are doing, if the Jews believe that this is the right thing for them, why are they wrong in doing that?
Okay, so you said a few things that I think are incorrect. I
Okay.
think, firstly, you said no people have ever taken over a land or a people or a region without ever conquering or death being involved. That's not true. Two, you said they've removed Hamas, and all that's going to happen now is they're just going to relocate these people to beautiful homes, and there will be no more death of Palestinian people. That's not true as well.
Sorry, what was the first one? The first one that you said? Just
Uh,
repeat it to me again.
okay, so the first point that I think you stated that I think is incorrect
Mm-hmm.
is that no people have ever conquered a nation or area of land without death and destruction being involved. That's not true.
Okay, so it has happened peacefully, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. With no threat of death or destruction.
yeah.
People just
To the
naturally
people,
gave
to
up
the
their
people,
life.
to the people being conquered. Yes, yeah. People have been kicked out of their land. Yeah, peacefully. Yeah, and an area has been
Oh,
taken.
hold on. Are you saying there was a threat or there was no threat? Like, for example, are you saying that people just walked up to someone's land
Yeah.
and said, "We want you to leave," and people just said, "You know what? Thank you for telling us that we're gonna leave right now."
Okay. Yeah. Of course, this happened. Yeah.
That has
So
happened.
when I say it's a bit rude when you laugh at somebody. It's a bit rude.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
do it to you.
Hassan.
I'm
I
gonna do,
apologize.
yeah. I'm gonna do it to you so you know how it feels.
All right, feel free. You're right. It's only fair. It's only fair. I did it, so you can do it.
Although I'm not gonna do it as well as you. You're very good at laughing at people's points and to fluff up your. I'm not good at that.
It gets on people's nerves,
Yeah, it's condescending. It's not a polite.
Understanding is
I have
rude.
a feeling you don't like being laughed at, so we'll
I
have it.
don't, bro. I really don't. It's just that what you said was so crazy. You said that I don't know, maybe you can cite some example. Actually, I can't say that. It's wrong for me to say that
Yeah.
because maybe an example of a group of human beings walking out to another group of human beings.
Not so literal, but an area being taken over by another group of people successfully without the forceful murder of those people. There may be a bit of back and forth. A few people here die here and there, but it'll be like 1%, 2%, like a very small number, like a small crowd of people or something. No, not like mass murder of people.
Would you agree that there would have to be a huge power imbalance in order for another group of people to turn around and say,
Not
okay,
necessarily, because sometimes there is no vested interest in the people actually taking up the conflict. Sometimes you say, you know what, it's not worth the fight. We're not going to fight for this because we have other interests or what have you.
someone's phone is ringing, bro. I think it's your phone.
Yeah, it's somebody in the house. It's not me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they picked up now. Okay, hopefully they'll start talking on the phone. But I'll come back to. I feel like if I give you examples, it might distract them.
No, yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
can
Yeah,
definitely come back to it. I'm not
let's
going to say
stick to
that.
the.
Yeah, I'm
let's
not going to say that without giving evidence. Though you're right. It is quite a substantial point to make. But the second point that I think that you are incorrect on is you literally said Hamas has been removed. That's not true. And then you said this will lead to the end of the death of the Palestinian people, and they're going to be offered beautiful homes. That's also incorrect. I mean, okay, yeah. Will
I
they be
was
beautiful?
quoting Trump. I was quoting Trump.
Sure, sure. I mean, will there be beautiful homes? Yes. Will they be offered it? Yes. Will they be? Will the hosting government be financially compensated for accommodating the Palestinian people? Yes. But I have a feeling it's an offer that has an expiry date. If you get my meaning, it's like, yeah, come take this money, man. Hurry up, man. I ain't got time for all this, man. They'll probably throw the money on the floor as well. Like, yeah, pick it up, man. I gotta take it, man. A large amount of it will be in coins.
That is mean. That is mean for love.
It's true. It's true. It's not gonna.
That
How
is
can you?
true. That is
It's like I'm gonna take your land, but I'm gonna give you somewhere nice to stay. Are you like?
It's actually messed up, bro, when you think about
Because
it.
they could have said it at the beginning before the war. They could have said, you know what? If you guys want to stay and fight, no problem. If you guys want to leave, we'll give you money.
Yeah, but
And
bro, what would you say at the if that is your plan?
yeah,
If you know what I mean, come on, bro.
they could have
Let's
built the homes already, and then
no.
said,
What I'm saying is, it's
yeah.
like, why am I going to expose? You know what I mean, my hand. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Why
I'm not
would
gonna.
you say that again?
I'm not. Why am I going to expose my head and hand? Like the
Well,
thing
why
is,
hide your hand though? That's the question.
hide your. I'm gonna hide my hand because I have a plan. Let's not be under any illusions here. Hamas and Israel did not get along. All right,
Yeah. Yes.
and Israel
Hamas
has
is at war with Israel. Yeah.
yeah, Israel has been working on a plan to get rid of Hamas, and now
Yes. So, yeah.
now they've managed to get rid of Palestinians too.
Okay. Okay. First of all, it's not completed. It's not done. Hamas is still there. So do you concede that point that Hamas has not been removed because you said they were removed?
Um.
They're still literally giving out hostages. Just
Okay.
today release
Okay.
hostages.
Technically, you're right, but I now that Trump is fully behind this idea of removing all Palestinians, I don't think Hamas is going to. That's my personal opinion. I don't think they're going to survive.
Say that again.
Okay, technically you're right. Hamas hasn't been completely removed. And the
They're stronger than
Palestinians,
ever. They're stronger
the,
than ever by the foreign minute the I forget his name, the secretary of whatever his name is. I Blinkets, I think his name is. He says
okay,
Hamas and more recruits than they started off with at the beginning of the war.
fair enough. No, I look. This is a personal belief. Okay, I'm not saying this is fact. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen in the future.
Okay.
Usually, the way my logic, the way it works is it's like this. If you're going to have the most powerful military in the world supporting you,
Which is
and
the US.
the USA, and saying that, yeah, this is what's going to happen. We are going to extract these people, remove these people away from this land, and we are going to give them beautiful homes elsewhere. No, logically speaking,
It's the best deal, I
when we
think.
look at the power, imbalance, yeah, I can say that, yeah, I'm gonna go with what Trump is saying, and I'm not going to believe that Hamas is going to, somehow last
Fight
long.
again. Okay, yeah. Using that logic, yes, it's an offer you can't refuse, as the Godfather says, right? Having said that, it's not what's going to happen. Donald Trump didn't say that the US is going to pay for these homes, and he didn't say that the US military is going to be involved in this. He said the opposite. The US is not paying for this, and he said that. And if you can just Google it while we're talking. The US is not going to be paying for this, and the US military is not going to be involved.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, really. The thing is, he has given his word. It wasn't an interview. How much involvement the USA will have in getting this done?
Yes.
I don't know the ins and outs, bro. I don't know the intricate details.
You and I both know that Israel disappears very quickly without the US, right?
No, yeah, that's well, you and I both know that Israel and America are pretty much one and the same, because Israel will always get the support of America. The point I'm trying to make is, I don't know the intricate details. What I do know is that Trump has said this, so there will be some.
It's not intricate. It's literally, it's very important. I'm interrupting because it's a very important point.
It's
To have
okay. I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
what? It's just if you go through with the wrong information to your conclusion, the conclusion has to be reversed, and we have to go back to the fundamental fact of whether or not it's true that U.S. soldiers will be helping to remove these Palestinian people, and the answer is no. And if the answer is no, then the idea that Trump has said what he said doesn't mean much, because you need to put U.S. troops in there. He can say he supports Israel, but if you don't give physical support, it means nothing.
Well, look, I'm not saying that I know exactly how the whole thing will unfold. I don't know, but what I do know is there was an interview. Trump was there, and Trump did say that he is going to remove Palestinians out of Gaza and he's going to put them elsewhere in beautiful homes. We know that he said that. Now, how he's going to achieve this, that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
Neither here nor there. And
Okay.
I don't think me and you are both privy to that information either. So
Well,
it doesn't matter what you say. At the end of the day, you are not privy to that information. You don't speak to Trump. You don't speak to Netanyahu. You don't any of that. So you don't know how they're going to work out. We didn't even see this whole thing coming. I don't think the entire world even saw this thing coming. No one was expecting.
that's not true.
Hold on. Wait. I'm speaking from my perspective, not from you. From my perspective, I didn't see this coming. I thought the battle was against, and you did mention this in the beginning. I think that the whole idea was to remove Hamas, and in a sense, save Palestinian peoples from Hamas. That's what I thought it was, because Hamas were holding them captive, were forcing them to go out and die for their own cause, and so on and so forth. I thought the entire idea was to remove Hamas and free the Palestinian people from Hamas, and remove the threat to Israel. That's what I thought it was going to be, but that's not what happened, was it? That's not what's happening, is it? Because what's happening is that now Trump, he doesn't just want to remove Hamas; he wants to remove Palestinian people out of Gaza as well, and it looks like it's going to happen. Now, I'm asking, what's wrong with that?
We'll come back to that, because I think I've answered it. But before I double down, can you play the video?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I have to press play.
When you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jared Kushner.
Is the volume okay?
Can you just
usually
make it
when
loud?
wars happen, borders are changed historically over.
I'll make it louder.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jared Kushner.
Usually when wars happen, borders are changed historically over time. And so my sense is I would say, how do we deal with the terror threat that is there so that it cannot be a threat to Israel or to Egypt, right? I think that both sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclaved right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards.
Yeah. I mean,
so what I would do right now if I was Israel is I would try to say, number one, you want to get as many civilians out of Rafah as possible. I think that you want to try to clear that out. I know that with diplomacy, maybe you get them into Egypt. I know that that's been refused, but with the right diplomacy, I think it would be possible. But in addition to that, the thing that I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so that you can go in and finish the job. I think there was one decision point they had. Do we go into Gaza? Do we not go into Gaza? They had the hostages. There really was, I think, no choice but to do that. I think that they were smart to go slowly and deliberately. Gaza's booby-trapped like crazy. They have over 400 miles of underground tunnels. And so I think that they've taken some of the right steps in order to go there. But you have to, again, I think Israel's gone way more out of their way than a lot of other countries would to try to protect civilians from casualties. But I do think right now opening up the Negev, creating a secure area there, moving the civilians out, and then going in and finishing the job would be the right move.
Is that? And so please join me in thanking Jared Kushner.
So there was an indication that this was an idea at some point. It didn't come out of nowhere. Kushner did mention it some time ago, and Kushner does have an influential, did have quite an influence, and still does quite have an influence in the Middle East and how Trump is dealing with the Middle East and the whole Israel situation. So it was on the cards, and even Kushner said it himself: go on an offensive, then clear people out, and then start rebuilding, and then the people come back. But the question is, when they rebuild, it's going to be under new management, pretty much. It's not going to be, this is your land, we rebuilt this area for you, feel free to come in after we bombed you. No, it's going to be a case of we're here, and we can select who comes in, who doesn't come in to a certain degree. So it is a greater Israel plan. There was indications that it was a territorial annexation of Palestinian land planned at the beginning.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
So there is, just first of all, before we got to, we're establishing the fact that there was indications that it was on the cards at the beginning before they started.
I absolutely agree with you 100% that this was in the cards. I don't think the Jews want Muslims in their land. I think
they have Muslims in there. Do they not have 2 million Muslims in Israel?
Yeah, they do. There's a difference between Muslims living in the land, and there's a difference between that.
Yes.
And
jurisdiction.
You owning a certain piece of that land,
and they live here because one is your equal, the other one is your guest.
There you go. So I'm not. That's fine. To me, that's all fine. I'm not sitting here thinking, no, the Jews never planned for this and this just happened naturally. No, I don't think it happened naturally at all. I think they planned the entire thing. I didn't see it coming. You know what I'm saying? But that was stupid of me. I should have seen it coming because it makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't it make perfect sense? They don't even want Muslims in that land. Of course, it would make perfect sense to get rid of them, to come up with a plan, a modern plan to get rid of them. Of course, it makes perfect sense. But the question is, what's the issue with that? That is the real question.
Oh, so that was the next question. Yeah. You did mention that. So there is the suggestion of an intended, executed, a plan that was the war did have an intention. We've established that. You and I are both on the same page as that. The question is, what is wrong with how it's been played out?
No, what is wrong? What was wrong with intentionally
I'm saying
removing Palestinians out of that land? What is wrong with that?
Because they live there.
Yeah, but now they want to remove them.
Okay, that's still morally wrong, because what you're doing is, after you've killed a great number of people, which you could have avoided, so they've chosen to kill a lot of innocent people, and now they're forcefully, or a soft force, but let's be honest, it's more force than anything else. If they do wish to do so, morally speaking, it's from my religious perspective and my moral perspective, I think it's wrong to take people from their homes, to forcefully remove them. Because
sorry, bro. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
So I think I'm pretty much done now.
Yeah, no. First of all, the Jews don't have the Jews don't have your moral code, so they don't.
Sorry, I'll give you. I forgot to mention. You say the Jews, Israel and its plans, and the Israeli leadership and their plans doesn't represent all Jewish people. It's the people who live in Israel. Some may support it, some may not support it. Maybe Jews in the UK, Jews in the US who are against it. So the idea that the Jews, it's not. I don't think it's fair.
Well, that to me, that's semantics.
Okay.
The Jews, when I say the Jews, I'm not going to be talking about every single Jewish faction or every single Jewish sect or every single Jewish person that thinks differently from the government. Okay. I'm talking about this is obviously what the majority wants. So at the end of the day, the Jews don't have the same moral code as Muslims do. They don't. They don't have the same aspirations. They don't have the same belief system. It's neither here nor there. They have a different, complete moral code. All right. So we can't. I can't. I'm a Christian. He's an atheist. I have to accept that he's an atheist. His way of looking at the world is different from the way I look at the world, morally speaking. So that's the first thing. Now they believe that they have a right to that land. They believe that you don't have a right to that land, that Muslims don't have a right to that land. And they went about and they planned it, however they executed it. But they managed to somehow get rid of Muslims, right? Or they are in the process of it. What is wrong with that? Now, you may not agree with it as a Muslim, and it makes sense. I understand that. But they feel as if, if I was to ask a Jew, how do you feel about it? They'd be like, yeah, I'm happy. We got rid of him. So what we have is two different ways, two different religions, morals, looking at it from different. What is wrong with what they do?
I think it's wrong. I mean, objective morality, is there such a thing? I don't know. I believe it's wrong. I believe it's wrong to murder innocent men and women and children. I doubt they would want it to happen to them. It happened to them on October 7th. You have people coming in from Gaza, killing innocent men and women and children for a political objective. They consider that to be immoral, evil, even by your own words. So when it happens to others, should it not be still evil?
Do they have to care about how you morally view it? Do they have to care about that?
Do they have to care? It's no. Do you think it's evil?
They don't have to give two F's about how you see it.
Do you think it's evil?
As a Christian?
Yeah.
As a Christian, I think what they've done is wrong.
Evil?
I think what they've done is sinful.
Okay.
I think that what they should have done is remove Hamas and leave the Palestinians where they are. That's what I think would have happened.
Yeah.
Now, that's me speaking from my moral perspective as a Christian. I'm not a Jew, so I'm not going to speak from their perspective. But from their perspective, they are right in what they have done. And from your perspective, they are wrong.
And from yours.
And from mine. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So what I'm asking is how do you solve this? Because they don't have to care.
Yes, they're under no physical obligation to care. So that's a good question. I'll come back to that. It's a good question.
Yeah, because I'm always right.
I never said you're right. I just think it's a good question. And then the second point that you made was, or the third point was, that this will end the death of Palestinians. Do you think they won't carry on dying and fighting to the last moment if they see Israeli soldiers walking in and pushing them out? Do you think the ceasefire?
If they want to fight till the last person is dead, they can continue to do so, and they will die. Because one is more powerful than the other. The point is
not necessarily.
hold on. The point is that they've been promised us good homes, swimming pools, flat screen TVs.
Nobody said all of this.
Hold on, bro. That's what. Bro, it's my turn to say something, bro.
Sorry.
Come on.
It was just funny and silly, but he's adding
Yeah.
swimming pools and flat screen TVs. We're gonna
Wow.
add Teslas as well.
You're literally being rude right now. You're really being rude. You can disagree with me when you get your chance to speak.
It
and
made
you
me
can,
laugh. It just made me
you
laugh.
can call me all types of names after that. It's fine. It's all right. I don't mind. I'm not sensitive like you guys. Look, listen. And I don't mean all Muslims, by the way. I'm just talking about, Hassan and
Important clarification here.
anyways, the point I'm trying to make is because I found it really funny. You have to understand that I've got a sense of humor when I look at these things, right? When someone says something very ludicrous, I see the sense of humor in it. Like, I don't know, it makes me laugh because it's ludicrous just by nature. It's funny. But the thing he said that they're going to be given beautiful homes. So I'm thinking swimming pools are going to be involved and flat screen TVs are going to be involved. There's Sky Internet networks. Oh god. Anyways, I'm thinking all of that is going to be involved. They're going to have beautiful lives. I thought that was quite rude, to be honest with you. Let me just give my position out there. When he said what he said, I thought that was quite rude. They're going to be living beautiful homes somewhere else. He had no regards for the fact that these people consider that place to be their land, and want to exist in that land. He didn't care about any of that. All he cared about was the fact that these people are going to be removed from Gaza, which I found hilarious. Anyways, so the point that I'm trying to make is very simple. No one, bro. At the end of the day, Palestinians, right, are going to live a good life where they're going to be, in Levant or Egypt, whatever they're going to be put in. They're going to be living good lives. What is wrong with that? They're not going to die. They're going to continue to exist, in a nice place and live a good life. What's wrong with that?
This is your next question. So first of all, you assume that Egypt, Jordan, countries like this are going to accept the deal. They've already come out and said no. You've already said we're not gonna accept. Jordan said we'll go to war over this. Egypt has said no. Saudi Arabia has said no. Most of Europe has said this is incorrect. You can't be doing this. Brother Aaron, Salaam, thanks for joining us.
Shouts to Aaron McKay, man. Shouts to the brother.
I think Octavia was going to get to that point at some point. On the podcast, Octavia and I, unfortunately, we speak about these topics a lot off camera. And we mention a lot of points that we don't, unfortunately, mention in the live. So, good point. We will mention that. Octavia, if you can remember points that we've discussed, because I think me and you skip over things that we've already said because we assume that it's not worth mentioning again, but we forget there's an audience. Do you agree with me that we speak about all these topics into some detail?
Yeah, me and Hassan, we talk a lot, bro.
Unfortunately, we forget to.
Unfortunately, bro, we talk a lot, bro. Yeah, I mean,
we forget to save it for the lives. I mean,
yeah. If you guys heard our conversations, like outside of, if it was on live, you guys would be like, "What?"
Okay, yeah. But I forget my point. I forgot my train of thought.
No, brother Hassan brought up a new point. Sorry, Aaron, he brought up a new point. He said, "Just say it's unlawful under international law." End of. I disagree with that.
We'll come to that. Egypt is every country has said no. He said we're going to house them in Jordan. We're going to house them in Egypt. It's going to be beautiful places. The Egyptians are already for so long. The Egyptians, the Jordanians, and a variety of Arab nations have limited the basic citizenship of Palestinians because the objective the global objective is, or the Arab objective is for the Palestinian people to have their own state. The two-state solution is still in mind. The Saudis have said there is no method of negotiating any normalization with Israel, and that's a very important point. Normalization with Saudi and Israel is an objective, even set up, I think, or encouraged to be set up by Jared Kushner himself. The plans of the U.S. and the Trump administration was to normalize relations between Israel and the greater Arab world, and they worked heavily towards that. And they've come around and said, if there is no the expulsion of the Palestinian people will put all things on hold, all negotiations on hold, and would stop normalization with Israel. So as soon as a person from Gaza is relocated from Gaza to anywhere else, including the Arab world, the deal's off. There will be no commitment to housing these people, not because they despise them, but because they do not accept the moral perspective of just kicking these people out of their land when they've committed no crime. The people haven't. Hamas, yes, and let's not say that the people of Hamas are representatives of the people of Gaza, because they're not. They've been in power for God knows how long. I think 75% of the population wasn't even born when Hamas came into power, or wasn't old enough to vote, at least. So it doesn't make sense to say that Hamas represents their people.
Let me ask you a question. Do you blame Hamas for this?
That's another question. Should we? Because that might go off topic.
No, because the thing is, you still haven't answered my question, which is they're doing what they're doing. And I think you mentioned international law, and I don't think America cares about international law, nor do I think Israel cares about it, because this is not stopping them from what they are going to do. The point is, what's really happening at the core of it all is they are taking over, they're conquering that land. They're saying, you guys are not allowed to be here anymore. You have to leave. You have to go. That's what's really happening here. What I'm asking is, what's wrong with that?
I've already answered that question. Morally, I think it's wrong. Those are my morals.
But I replied. Sorry to interrupt you. And I replied by saying, well, Jews don't see it the way you do, morally speaking.
No does a grapist. A grapist doesn't need consent. They think it's against their morals to ask for consent.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Regardless, whether you disagree with their moral outlook on it, it matters not, because at the end of the day, they disagree with yours.
Yes.
So the point is, so morally, it's kind of like pointless to even mentioning it. Because they look at it, they don't agree with Islam either. Islam doesn't agree with them either. So it's like, okay, forget that.
Yes.
What's wrong with them conquering those people?
Again, right and wrong is a moral question.
Aaron McKay says Octavio thinks that the forceful removal of ethnic groups from their homeland is not unlawful under international law. No, I don't actually think that. Laughing out loud. Okay, I do agree. Israel and the US do not care about internet. Thank you. That was my entire point. My point is that they don't. I'm not saying that it's not unlawful. It may be unlawful. The point that I'm saying is, US and Israel don't care, bro. They don't. And it's like the quicker people start to understand that, the better. They don't care. They're going to do what they want to do regardless, and no one's going to be able to stop them. Then he says it's improper to conflate Jews with Zionists or Jews with Israelis. It promotes anti-Semitism rhetoric. That's kind of besides the point. The bigger point that I'm trying to make is, we already went down the moral argument, and the moral argument doesn't really work because Jews don't agree with your moral worldview. They agree with their own moral worldview, and according to their moral worldview, they're doing the right thing. Whether you think that the Jews, there's a difference between Jews and Zionists are really the ones behind this and not really the Jews, that's neither here nor there. We could even say it's just the Zionists doing this. Okay, cool, whatever. According to the Zionists, according to their moral worldview, They don't agree with yours. So you can say whatever you want to say, but that's just your opinion according to your moral worldview. It has nothing to do with what they believe in. So different people believe in two different things. That's what I'm saying. So why is it wrong for them to conquer that land? I know you say, I know you've already told me about the moral aspect according to your faith, and I respect that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. What other reasons have you got?
Do I need more? Do I need other reasons? If somebody says to me, "I'm going to grape you," and I say, "No, I don't want you to do that," and you say, "Why?" I say it's against my morals for you to grape me. All right, I don't agree. Have you got any other reasons? I shouldn't have to give you another reason.
Thank you.
No is no. I'm not gonna let. I'm not participating in my own grape. All right, not interested, and I'm not giving you a list of reasons. Then there is no negotiation for my, safety or whatever it is. Right? No is no. The Palestinian people have said. Obviously, they haven't been asked. I mean, from the
Yeah.
they haven't even been asked.
What?
Yeah, I mean, they've spoken to Saudi and they've spoken to Egypt and they've spoken to Jordan. The Palestinian people are they're trying to rebuild their homes and try to survive from the aftermath of this whole situation. And going back to your other question about Hamas, we'll come back to that in a second. So if your argument is may not be right, but it is true, and it is the overwhelming decider in any situation, then you're right. That's how the state of Israel was established in the first place. It wasn't that the Israelis came to that land and said, "Hey guys, we're just going to bring every Jew from Europe and Africa and Asia and the world, and we're just going to put them here, and we kind of like your houses, and we're going to take your houses, and we're going to kind of push you to the corner, and if everybody tries to help you, then we'll get the US to help us, and then we'll take more land, and we'll take more land, and we'll take more land, and we'll take more and more and more and everything, and then we'll say your country never existed, even though our country probably didn't really exist, let's be honest, and go from there and push you and push you and push you and push you and push you. No, it's this existence of Israel itself, the state of Israel in its current standing, is an indication of moral relativism, meaning their morality trumps the overall universal morality, or morality that they can come to terms with. So you don't violate my morals, I don't violate your morals, right? And the fact that there is a willingness to be forceful to fulfill their objectives. That's the Israel, the state as it is, not in reference to Israel in the Bible and the Quran, not that Israel, but this current political military base of U.S. interests. This state is a pure indication of might rules out in the end, and it's been consistent. It's established. It's survived. It's established relations or reasonable relations with its neighbors. It is successfully and repeatedly suppressed any revolt from the Palestinian people, even up until now, to the point where actually negotiating the idea of taking away land from the people of Gaza who they had agreements with originally, saying this is yours and we'll just carry on from there and what have you. You govern yourself and such, and go from there. So the idea is might rule out in the end without obvious divine intervention. Then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I am right. The thing is, the way I look at it is countries have been conquering countries for a very long time. Nations have been conquering other nations for a very long time. That's the way I look at it. So to me, it's like, you know what? They've been conquered. That's how I look at it. They've been conquered. They're being told to leave. And that's the end of it. And people need to get over it and just accept that this is a reality of what happens. You can bring up a moral argument and you can say, this is unfair, I don't agree with it, but who cares? Because according to how they view, according to their morals, they don't agree with you either. They don't agree with your moral, your moral compass. So you can disagree all you want, but at the end of the day, it's like you have to recognize that that's just your opinion.
I gotta now. now I'm starting to get your question.
Yeah, yeah.
That-
So the thing is, it's like, yo, at the end of the day, it's like I accept the reality that people conquer people. You know what I mean? Sorry, that natures conquer nations. I accept that reality. I'm not a hypocrite. I accept that reality. And so if let's say the Palestinians had the power right now to conquer them, I would say, hey, it is what it is. They've managed to do it. You know what I mean? They've conquered it. I wouldn't be stressing about it. I would just accept that this is a human um is part of human reality. Now,
So, yeah, I've got a question for you.
you're itching. It's part
Because
of human.
I'm only itching because now I've started to understand your point.
Yeah. It's part of human reality. This is why I think when you guys come up with like, oh, it's wrong. It's like, yo, relax, bro. They Jews. They don't go by your moral code. A lot of people don't go by Christian moral codes. And I believe that everyone should go by Christian moral codes because I believe that it is the truth. Do I want everyone to obey the Christian moral worldview? Yes. Is it going to happen? No. Why? Because we've got a whole bunch of pagans and atheists, degenerates out here. You know what I'm saying? Like going against it. So and I accept that as a reality, as a fact. So at the end of the day, I want people to, what I liked about what Trump said is these people are going to be safe. These people are going to be safe. They're going to have a nice house, sorry, a nice living. They're going to be given flat screen TVs. I thought that was great. I thought, with a remote control that works. I thought that was great, because they're going to have nicer, they're not going to keep dying, bro. They're not going to keep dying because otherwise, what's the alternative? The alternative is to keep dying.
That's not true.
Hold on a second. Aaron McKay says it won't be the end of it, even after all Palestinians are displaced. The fight will continue from Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan. These nations know this, which is why they won't accept displacement. And Aaron McKay, and I would not go against what Aaron McKay is saying right now. I would say, then let that be the case. You know what I mean? It's survival of the fittest, right? Is the fittest will always win. So if Egypt and Lebanon and Jordan prove to be stronger than Israel, then let that be the case. But I accept that. Why is it me as a Christian, I can accept that this is the reality, and people can't be at peace with the fact that this is the reality of what's happening to Palestinians right now, that they're going to be removed, whether they like it or not, by the fittest, by the strongest.
I can tell you why.
Why?
Because Aaron McKay said it right there in his statement. It won't be the end. Now, you can take yourself off mute because I wanna hear some. I'm not gonna talk a lot. I want a bit of back and forth with you on this. The idea that it is the fact and you must accept it isn't true. You don't have to accept it.
I agree with that. You don't have to accept it at your own detriment.
Yes, but is an absolute one-way detriment. Is it really a case of, because the people of Gaza are on their own now, right now. They're on their own on everything between October 7th and the ceasefire, they're on their own. The King of Jordan came out and said, we're not going to take people of Gaza in. They didn't lift a finger in an effort to stop the ceasefire. They may have gone into negotiations and talks and such, but there was no military opposition to bombs being dropped, right? Same with Egypt, same with Saudi, same with, I guess, Lebanon did throw some rockets and such, but nothing that would really push Israel to the point of saying, you know what, this fight is getting bigger than we can handle. Even the US can't help us. We need to stop bombing because we have no other option but to stop bombing, right? I'm with you. That's an objective fact. It happened, right? And military, pound for pound, bomb for bomb, soldier for soldier. In this Israel-Gaza situation, they had no opponents because the cause wasn't there wasn't a unified opposition, military opposition to the U.S. bombing, to Israel bombing Gaza, right? The goal was we're going to get rid of Hamas, we're going to help establish a new government, and we're going to get this done, and so on, right? Nobody did anything. Cool. Now, once you put the idea of displacing the people of Gaza out of Gaza and into somewhere like Egypt and places like this, now you're entering into a new battle. Now there are new stakes at play. Now, possibly, right? Let's say the US comes in tomorrow, or Israel comes in tomorrow, not the US, Israel comes in tomorrow, walks into Gaza and says, all right, guys, the exit's over there. Please, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Right? that whole end of the club or end of the bar, end of the night, with the bar owner tells you to get out of here. And they've got a bouncer in the corner if you decide to think otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. What happens then? Egypt is in a position where they've already said we're not accepting the ethnic cleansing, which it is. The Palestinians are the ethnic group in that region, and they're being cleansed out of that nation, which is the plan, right? They're pushed out. Could the whole of Egypt and Jordan and Syria and people like this come into a position where they could stop that from happening physically? Probably not, considering that the US, assuming the US will give full support of Israel's every decision. And there's no indication that they wouldn't. Let's just assume they would. And forget the idea of that they wouldn't, because that's a whole nother hypothetical we don't need to go down. What is in the interest of the US being in that position where they have the whole of the Middle East opposing their actions in the Middle East? There is no benefit. They may win.
Is that a question?
No. Let me round it off, and then I'll let you jump in. I'm not gonna talk. Actually, carry on. Say your point. Say it. I can stop.
The first thing I'll say is you don't know anything about what their interests are. If you, I've heard people use the argument that Israel is just an American base in the Middle East. If that's the case, then it's in America's interest in order to protect their military base. If that is indeed the case. But the thing is, how Americans operate, and I'm not talking about your regular American person because he doesn't know anything, how the American government operates and what its intentions are. However, difficult it is for us to understand, like, for example, it's military support of Israel, which seems to be unconditional, by the way. They will give whatever Israel needs, requires at all times, no questions asked. Why they do it? Why do they do what they do? Why does Israel have so much influence over America? We'll never know. But the thing is, it's a reality that they do have that. We've seen example after example that they have that. So yeah, it's like to say it's not in America's interest. You don't know any of that. That's literally you just guessing. America has been supporting Israel through wrong and right. Again, how I deem what is wrong and how I deem what is right comes from my Christian perspective. An atheist would have a different way of looking at it, and a Muslim would have a different way of looking at it. So, and this is what I'm trying to say. So we don't know. American has been. We've seen Israel do things that are questionable, and America is still supporting it. Doing straight up wrong things
for the last 15 months.
Yeah, straight up wrong things, and America still support it. So I think we are past this idea of what is the benefit for America. I don't think America even cares. America will support whoever they want to support and exterminate anyone who tries to, go against them. End of.
Okay, so this is
But
where
I am right, though. I am right.
You're as right as
right
as a 7-year-old could be right about Africa, right?
Good.
Right. So just go through the scenario with me.
Right,
the US has bad relations with, let's say the US comes in, with Israel comes in, not the US. Israel comes in with the US's support, fully pushes the people of Gaza out, just chucks them in the Beverly Hills of Cairo.
That's what's gonna happen though. Trump said it.
No, well, that's a whole nother story. Trump's a whole nother story, and what he says and what he does, they're two separate things. I hope you've seen enough that what he says isn't necessarily what he's trying to push.
I think you're hoping in your heart.
Do I seem like a person who goes around basing decisions on hope?
I think right now what you're saying is wishful thinking. And don't get me, I respect it. You know, you're Muslim, you care about the Palestinians. So I understand your position, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, you know, the man said it, bro. It's not as if he didn't say it. He said it. And right now, what you're doing is you're nitpicking. You know what I'm saying? You're analyzing everything and saying, you know, he might not do this, he might not do that. But bro, he did say it. He said these people are not welcome in Gaza anymore. They have to move, which means the American military will move them, bro.
Sorry, I've got some background noise. Sorry if you can hear some background noise. So basically, just run through the scenario with me. Let me finish the scenario.
Go ahead.
Let's go with your train of thought. Judge it by what you can see, not by assumptions, which is a fair perspective, right? I'll grant you that. And we know the U.S. You've given good evidence that there's absolute support for the U.S. giving absolute unconditional support to Israel to the point where, yeah, I wouldn't say unconditional, but absolute support to the point where actually maybe unconditional because. You do see Mossad being.
I was hoping you could catch yourself with that one.
Yeah, because the U.S. agencies do say their biggest threat, or one of their biggest threat, is the Israeli intelligence service, who actually steals data from them and does. They're as great a threat to the Secret Service as China is and Russia, because they do as they wish in America. It seems like for what they don't even hide it anymore.
Yeah, they look like family members, man. They get on with each other that deep.
Yeah, family literally walking in and just
you know when you're with your brother and you're horsing around with your brother, right? And you go and grab his stuff and all of that type of stuff. You wouldn't do that with your friend because you would do that with your friend too. But you
wouldn't walk up to his house at midnight and just knock on the door.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, Israel just gets to do everything with America. I mean, the writing is on the wall, man. The writing is on the wall.
Let me finish my point.
I'm always right.
So, okay. So here's where I think your issue is in terms of seeing my perspective, right? And I'll make it very clear. I'll give you the example. I'll tell you where I think you're wrong. Or I know you're wrong, but I'll say I think just for your feelings, I guess. If we'll go through the scenario slowly but surely, not immediately, but slowly but surely, the people of Gaza over a year or two are pushed out and they find themselves in the Savile Row of Jordan, the Hyde Park of Riyadh, right?
Beverly Hills, man.
Yeah, Beverly Hills of Cairo, and they're living there with their flat screen TVs and whatever it is, and just being further displaced from there, the where they grew up and their ancestors are, right? Because let's be honest, the people who live in Gaza and Palestine have been there since the 1800s, the 1900s. They've been there for a long time, right? To the point where they can take pictures of their grandparents in Haifa, in Tel Aviv, and places like this, and say, "This is where we used to live," right? And we were forcibly removed, right?
Who cares, man? Yeah, go ahead.
But true though, right? True,
but who cares?
Cool. So, what do you think will happen next when the people of Egypt revolt and even the leadership themselves say, we're not okay with this? And then, now it could be across Saudi and Jordan and Syria and Lebanon and Egypt and Morocco and a variety of other places, right? Seeing their Arab brothers, their Muslim brothers, being made refugees forcefully, and Israel having what they said to be what did they say they were going to make it, the Riviera of the Middle East. So people coming from Europe and America and Australia having a good old time on what is recently stolen land, right? And you agree it would be stolen land because you said that's Gaza, that's their home, that's where they're from. Do you think they would sit around? I would say no. And I hope you would say no, logically speaking. And then your question would be your question.
Sorry. I thought you were asking me a question. Go ahead. Yeah.
I have go
on. My answer to that. I don't think it really even matters. Everything you're saying.
Not does it matter? What would they do?
They wouldn't do nothing.
Okay, cool. That's the answer. Cool. So you're assuming they would do nothing. I would say they would do something. I would say they would do a lot. I would say they will either pull their resources and we're going for a 1948 war or 19 whatever the war, 6-day war again, 1963 or whatever the 6-day war was, right? Possibly, right? Although it seems a bit difficult because a lot of the military supplies supplied to these nations are from the US, are from Britain, are from France. So you can't really, it seems strange to go to war of the do you know what I'm saying? I can't, put certain software into a laptop and then take it to the laptop repair guy and say, hey, can you look at this laptop for me? And he'll say, look, I can see you put software in here, You can't show me my product and tell me that there's nothing wrong with it. I know what you've done exactly to it because I've made it this way, right? And then probably the US is well known to put back-end software into whatever they give their allies and their opponents. So the CIA is well known to put viruses in. They're even known to record the EU, right? And there's no limits. Trump is now putting sanctions on South Africa, punishing South Africa for taking Israel to the Human Rights Court, right? Israel hasn't forgotten how South Africa humiliated them for their genocide in Gaza, right? Although one could argue it's not a genocide, but as a matter of fact, South Africa took them to the international court and set up a case. They're the ones that put their money on their money where their mouth is. They stood up. Now they're paying the price. That's why you see a lot on Twitter from Elon Musk and people like this. White South Africans are being treated poorly. We need more influence. That's why you see Donald Trump sanctioning South Africa, right? A Western nation, a white nation, right? Let's be honest, it's a white nation, in my opinion. Still is to a certain degree. You have Donald Trump putting sanctions on the International Criminal Court. This is the same criminal court that said if Netanyahu sets foot in any nation that has signed up to the criminal court agreement, that the Netanyahu should be arrested, be sent to court, just like Saddam was. Saddam was hanged. Was it the International Court? Well, either way, just like where the Nazis are hanged and taken to court, where the biggest criminals in the world are sent to be judged, right? He's putting sanctions on them, right? The Netanyahu coming out of what is said to be a genocide, a war criminal, right? Technically he is, because he's been committed of crime by the International Court, right? He's been convicted of, he's been sentenced to, he's been certified as a war criminal by the International Court, right? Sitting there in the White House, being gifted the land of the people he's just helped to kill by the US president, being offered more than he asked for on any public record. The original ask was, we're getting rid of Hamas, give us support. Now it's a case of, we're going to give you the land. And not only are we going to give it to you, we're going to insure it. We're going to say, Donald Trump said, this is, we're going to own it. He means the US. Meaning you tried to get involved in Gaza, you're getting involved in US territory. That's what he threw up in the air. That's what he's bringing to the table. All right? The Japanese invaded Hawaii. That's what happened to them. The Cubans flirted with the idea of having nuclear weapons in Cuba, Russian nuclear weapons. They're still paying the price 60 years later, right? With a crumbling economy. The US Navy is on their port. They are impoverished, very well-educated people, a very capable, rich country that could do very well, but does not because of a mistake they made politically 60 years ago. That's a long time to be paying a price for a mistake that you made.
Not really.
Yeah, it's. I think they paid enough. I think they paid way more.
I don't.
They think they should pay more.
Mm-hmm.
Or- okay, whatever. But either way, the matter of the fact is 60 years.
No, because you can't speak for how other people think or feel. They
Okay,
don't
okay.
see
I'll
it.
take that. I'll take that out. That's my
Yeah,
moral.
yeah,
That's my
they
moral
don't
judgment.
see it. They don't see it the way you do, bro. You're
Okay,
thinking
no. To be
at
fair,
least. Hold on, hold on.
I'm moralizing, but okay, I'll
Yeah. All I'm doing is being consistent.
state
And
the fact.
I respect how Muslims feel. I respect how Jews feel. I respect. Well, I don't because I'm a Christian and I have my
Well,
own
you,
moral bias.
but
But
you still respect, as in you wouldn't.
I respect it in the sense that it's just the reality of the world that these people have different moral
Yes,
worldviews. And
yes.
guess what? They're going to see how they see it. You'll say, right, it's too much for them to be paying for this long. What if they feel differently?
Okay, I
What
didn't
if
say
they
that.
feel
I
differently?
didn't say
It's
like
like,
that. But
who are
yeah,
you to judge?
okay, yes, you're accusing me of moralizing. I am, but forgive me for that.
Come on, bro.
I
Do
tend to
better.
speak my opinion from time to time. All right, so I'm going to
Do
speak. It's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But
I
the
have
matter of fact,
I have
but you
to.
want me to speak in matter of fact. You're right. I'm
Yeah.
going to put moralizing in there, but I'm not using moralizing as a justification. Meaning, you do not agree with my morals. You breach my moral boundary. Therefore, you must stop. I'm not saying that. Definitely not saying it.
I have faith in you, bro. Go ahead.
I don't know what that means. Well, your prayers have been wasted anyway. So pray to Jesus. So it's a waste of time. And the Holy Ghost. Anyway, might as well pray to a wall, bro. Anyway, no, guys, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Guys, we play around like that, bro. It's not an issue.
Okay, so the point I'm illustrating is there are no physical consequences that you can give the US or well Israel via the US because the US they've given them complete support throughout the 15 months. At any time they could have said no, we're not interested. Do it with your own weapons. We've got build bridges and put out fires and things like this, right? We've got to work out our whole, pay off our debts because we've got 35 trillion in debt or whatever. We've got a lot of things we need to sort out. They could have given 1,000 different reasons. None of them have to be moral reasons. Many moral and another 10,000 moral reasons they could have given, but they didn't. And not only did they not, they're doubling down on their support to the point where we'll give you whatever you want, more than what you want, we'll ensure it, and we'll get people who hurt your feelings. We'll punish nations for hurting your feelings, i.e. South Africa. Won't punish the US, the UK, because the UK did agree to the idea of arresting Netanyahu. And if Netanyahu does enter the UK, he is under arrest by international law. Right?
I'll find that curious, man.
But the US does have positions in place where if even that was to happen,
Bro, the international criminal court is being sanctioned right now as we speak.
yes, which kind of puts the reality that the international court is for people who are not the US. It's
Bro,
for everybody else.
Just say it for what it is. It's bullshit.
Now, here's where I think you're wrong. Subjugation and oppression, to a certain degree, requires consent. If it did not require consent, the war, this would have already been done by now. The US Israelis would have carpet bombed or turned it into glass, as they said, Gaza. They would have killed all the people of Gaza. And they would have already taken over by now. But they haven't. Because you do not want to get into a situation, and I'm talking about the US. I'm not advising them, but this is the mechanics of it. There's only so much you can do. And if I'm wrong in that, the argument is that the US is invincible. And only God is invincible. Only God is flawless. The US cannot afford the idea of the Middle East completely dissolving into chaos because who would resolve who would manage their interests if it does go into chaos, and there is no negotiation, there is no respect for the interests of the Palestinian people in relation to the Arab nations around it, via the Arab nations around it. China will have an influence. Russia.
Can I chime in?
I'm going to literally round it off in one more sentence.
All right, go ahead.
And if you think the US is so invincible that they can do whatever they want to Russia and to China and just go down that path, then there may be a perception of the US and Israel that is not grounded in reality. Or there would be, but yeah.
I don't think the US is invincible. They are invincible. It's just a matter of fact. And of course, I mean, whether you will accept that or not, that's a personal struggle, or that's a personal internal struggle that you're gonna have to deal with it yourself. But they are invincible. They are the most powerful, objectively speaking, military in the world. And this is why what they say goes. The Middle East is not going to turn into chaos. They can't, because they depend on the US. And it's precisely because you've got a powerful military or a powerful nation like the US that the whole thing is not going to turn into chaos. I mean, come on, man. And it's human beings at its very basic level. Their interest is survival. Put religion aside and all of that. Their interest is survival. So, the U.S., because it is a powerful nation, they will always be able to, to establish some kind of an order. There needs to be some kind of a powerful nation in order to establish some kind of order. Now, you might not like the order that they establish. You might be against it, but that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, there is no nation that can fight against them and win. So, which means they will establish whatever order that they want. And that's just the facts. The facts are really, really that simple. And Trump kind of like, I'm glad Trump did what he did in the sense of he kind of like made everyone realize how powerful America actually really is by the way he did it. It was just like, you know what? Yeah, we're taking over that land. Like, it's almost as if people haven't been dying, for this cause, like as if the cause even meant nothing. That's it's like, wow, did he just say they're just going to remove all the Palestinians? I was perplexed. I was thinking, like, this is crazy. Hold on. He just said, yeah, we're just going to put him somewhere else. And we're going to, that's to show the level of power that the military, that the U.S. military has. And what I don't understand is just like, you seem to be having you seem to be struggling with the idea that, that the U.S. can be that powerful and can hold so much power over everyone else. And I don't know why when it's a fact. I don't know. I'm maybe you can explain it to me.
Sure. So the U.S. Sorry, not the U.S. The Russia invades Ukraine. Russia tells the US and NATO, if you enter Ukraine, we will go to nuclear war. The US then goes into negotiations after giving sanctions and embargoes. Why not just invade Russia?
Why not? So is that a question for me?
Yes.
Because it's not in their best interest. They might be they might have another. This is what I'm trying to say. You don't know what their goals are, what their intentions are. You might see them, okay, they're going into negotiation instead of just invading Russia. You might look at it like that, but it might be the best strategic move for what they're trying to achieve. So that's not it's like, oh, they went into negotiation, that means they're weak, that means that they can be taken over. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, you know what, they have a plan, and this is the best strategy for their plan. It's not that they can't do it. They can do it. You've already had that debate with John Michel about who's more powerful militarily speaking, Russia or America. And if I recollect, you lost that debate quite harshly, really. John Michel completely and utterly dismantled every argument that you had, and showed you how superior the American military army is to Russia. I mean, I'm not saying this to have a dig at you, but I'm just telling you that these are the facts. And just because you don't see them invading Russia, or or you see them entering into negotiations, it doesn't mean that they can't. It just means that they have different intentions, different plans, it's a different strategy altogether.
So the U.S. has absolute power. In this situation, they go through the negotiation path because they possibly have a greater plan in mind. Could it be just as likely that they don't have absolute power?
No, because objectively speaking, they do. When we look at their military, because this is something that we can measure objectively.
Yes.
This is not something that we out here theorizing.
Yes.
You know, when you look at their military capacity, like I said, you had that debate, and when you look at their military capacity, I'm just talking about from what we can see, and we outsiders. I mean, I'm not even talking about from an insider's point of view, because we don't know. But the thing is, just from an outsider, it's like, bro, you can't. No one can compare to it. This is why Israel does what it does in the Middle East, because America is capable. Come on, they got bases everywhere around the world. You're not doing nothing without America say so. And I need people to understand this. It is what it is.
So I had that debate with JM, US versus Russia.
I was moderating for that debate, by the way.
Yeah, it was more of a discussion because it wasn't much of a debate. Because
it was a slaughter at the end of the day.
Yeah, because kudos to me for being the underdog in that situation.
The underdog.
Yeah. Now,
it's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Yes.
You did well, bro. You did well. You represented Russia well, but
yes, yes, and Russia does have weapons the US doesn't.
You won't let go, bro. You know what? Fine. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So, in that debate, what did we take off the table?
I don't remember every bit of that debate, bro.
There was one thing.
What we took off from that debate is America is
no. We took away. Not we took away. What did we take off the table?
What did we take off the table?
Yeah.
I don't remember, bro. Sir. Yeah. I know
nuclear weapons.
Huh?
Nuclear weapons.
What about it?
If Russia has nuclear weapons and the US has nuclear weapons, militarily, doesn't matter that much. Because the US will not invade Russia and Russia will not invade the US directly. Because they're both at a loss.
So is this like, are you hoping Russia will come to the aid of Palestinians or something?
Well, that's a mischaracterization of what I'm saying. I'm making it very clear to you.
They're not going to do it, bro.
Okay. Your statement is the US has absolute power. They don't. And if they did, they would not be negotiating with Ukraine. And let's say they have another strategy in mind. That does not affect the fact.
Interrupt you, bro. I just want to ask.
Can I finish my point?
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
That does not change the fact that Putin threatened NATO and the US stopped dead in their tracks, did not go further. So there is no absolute power of the US. If the US has absolute power, the rest of the world still can take the option of not being complicit in their occupation and going down the path of, we will not assist you in our own destruction. If we're going down, we're taking you down as much as we can and can have effect. Now, if they're absolutely powerful, it will have no effect. If they're not absolutely powerful, in the case of Russia, and the whole Russia and Ukraine situation, where they're going down the diplomatic path, lending money to a country for its survival, because there's no other option that they do have, right? It's clear indication that it's not a zero-sums game as much as you're trying to make it. The US does have something to lose, but yeah, go on.
All right. Let's say the U.S. military is not invincible. Let's say that's the case. Let's just grant you that. What is the point that you're trying to make here?
The point I'm making is, if the idea that you can't do as you wish, absolutely. When the idea of doing the most abhorrent to a people who've been nothing but victims, which is the people of Gaza, exiling them out of the country and putting them somewhere else, somewhere near, somewhere Egypt, Jordan, or whatever, right? At that point, when the Middle East decides to not consent in this plan falls apart. And it makes it certain that it will not happen. Well, it throws out the idea that it will happen, that the people of Gaza will be replaced and they will be taken. It's not true.
Okay, so you basically what you're saying is you're hoping that let me just steal man your argument here. You're hoping that America is not invincible. Sorry, according to America is not invincible, which would mean that there is still hope for the Palestinians to not be removed from Gaza. And you are relying on this hope for Palestinians. I'll be honest with you, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against people hoping, but to me, the evidence shows otherwise. It shows that America can achieve this goal, and they will achieve this goal. I'm not even looking at Israel no more. To me, it's not even Israel doing this; it's America doing it, because Trump is fully backing it, and Trump looks. He looks like he wants to do this, and it looks like he's going to do this. My only issue is, all right, cool. I mean, we can hope all we want. We can hope that the Palestinians don't leave. And I'll be honest with you, I thought that was going to be the case. They remove Hamas, and then the Palestinians will stay, and then everyone will live peacefully. That's what I was hoping. Now, what I'm saying is, it's like, okay, so. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, is like, why are they? I still need to know, why are they wrong for doing what they're doing? If this is just the reality of life, that countries take over other countries, they displace people, and so on and so forth.
I think we've already covered that, though. I think we've already covered that a few times.
No, you've already told me that they're wrong according to how you morally view things.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we all know how the Jewish people see it. They don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, they want that. So it's like, why can't we just be like, okay, at least they're gonna have flat screen TV.
Okay.
At least they're gonna have a little swimming pool to swim in. At least they're not gonna be killed. Why can't we just be happy for the Palestinians? Accept the reality that they have been conquered, they have been taken over. And now they're going to be moved to a safe place, because historically speaking, people did not get moved to safe places and given flat screen TVs with swimming pools in it. Historically speaking, people would get raped, made into second-class citizens, whatever the ones the conquerors wanted to do to them, they would do to them. I mean, you just have to look at, I forgot his name, but this guy went to Congo and he killed over 10 million people in there, and he was raping women, doing all types. I think
15 million.
Yeah, 15 million. Leopold.
King Leopold, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, historically speaking, it's like, I've never seen a more humanitarian way of doing things, where they're going to give them flat screen TVs and swimming pools. Because that's not what tends to happen, and that's not what happens historically. So to me, it's like, why can't we just be happy? Why can't we just be like, you know what? At least no more Palestinian people are dying.
Okay.
At least that's the case.
Oh,
At least they are, they're going to, and they're going to continue. Why can't we just accept that?
okay. So I'm going to summarize my point, and then I'm going to go back to a question you said before. A question that you asked, which is a good question. I'm going to summarize my point. If the people of the Middle East say no, including the people of Gaza, although you and I have both established the idea that nobody's asked the people of Gaza whether they want to be removed or not. Nobody asked them anything, and this is the state of circumstances, how little respect there is for their own position in the world.
Who cares?
I care.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You care as well, don't you?
From a Christian perspective, yeah, but in reality terms, no one cares.
Well, if a bullet is coming towards you, you can care enough that you do not wish it to happen. And if it grazes you, next time you'll think twice about being more aware of where people are shooting at you. So where you are in terms of people can shoot at you. Now, if the people of the Middle East decide to care and say, we will not accept this and we will not be complicit and we'll see where it goes, then the US and their, as you said, being godlike and being gods of the universe, as you pretty much put it, because they got bigger guns and bigger planes or whatever it is, right? Will be tested.
Wow. Yeah, and they'll be tested and they'll win. And then what?
Oh, well, this is the thing. You're assuming victory far too clearly. There's been many cases throughout human history where a smaller people, less capable. I mean, the Taliban alone is a great example of how the US went in there, occupied it for 20 years, tried to establish a government, put everything behind it. And when they left, right back to square one, as if they weren't even there. In fact, they came back bigger and stronger and more influential. So the idea of my law, my way is the highway, it's only if I allow you to, ride over me.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, bro? Yeah. And please just answer this honestly, right?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me put on my honesty chip. Let me take out my dishonesty chip, and then
you really have to be condescending. I know. I walked into it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Okay. Look, listen, man. If you had to, bet.
Okay.
I know you're not allowed to bet. I know, not so.
It's hypothetical, yeah.
If you had to make a bet, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that all these Arabic nations have a chance at winning against the USA?
You laughed.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
You keep laughing. It's kind of sinister.
It's sinister. It's rude. It's disrespectful.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
Anyway, now
because I just can't fathom. But the thing is, that's my personal opinion. I'm asking you if you had to bet.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, do you really think these Arabic nations have any chance?
Yes.
At winning? Yeah. Considering what little Israel did to Iran, they
haven't done anything to Iran.
Well, yeah, sorry, my bad. Hezbollah, all of them guys, right?
They're proxies.
Imagine with the might of America behind them, fully, and they're fully involved. Do you honestly believe these Arabic nations have any chance of winning?
Militarily, if they say we want to reestablish the state of Israel, the state of Palestine, and we are going to war for it, we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're going to go to war to fulfill our ambition. Is that the question?
Yeah. Do you think they could achieve it?
To reestablish the state of Israel as they wish, as state of Palestine as they wish, in a war?
Yeah. I'm sure that would be the goal. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. We'll just throw out this idea. No, I think
Thank you. Conversation done. Yeah. There you go.
But that's not what's on the line, though, is it? That's the problem. That's the problem. That's not what's on the line. What's on the line is establishing a more friendly, pro-Israel Middle East that is willing to house Middle Eastern, so Israeli interests, have alignments, agreements, have embassies across the Middle East, and Israel being welcomed in the Middle East as much as the US is or any other Western nation? The answer is no, especially if you go down this path of we're just going to kick these people out because we've kind of had enough of them, and we're going to build the Riviera on the Mediterranean or whatever it is, the Middle East. Then your objective is not fulfilled, because remember you said it could be possible in Ukraine they have other objectives that we don't know about. They've made it very clear throughout the past 30, 40 years, they want good relations with the Middle East, because the Middle East being completely destabilized and anti-Western makes them more prone and subjective to the idea, or suggestive, or more likely to accept the idea of Russian and Chinese influence. And once that happens, there's not much the US can do. Because if, for example, China decided to establish military bases in Saudi, because Saudi had a bad relationship with the US over the Israel-Palestine situation, the US would have to say, we're going to get rid of the Chinese bases in Israel, in Saudi. Then the Saudis will say, okay, no problem, come try. And then there's a war with China, a direct conflict, and with Russia. Do I think the US would survive a direct conflict with Russia and China together, along with other nations? Who can say? Probably not. What happened in the last World War? In the last World War, Germany lost its empire, the Spanish lost their empire, the Portuguese lost their empire, the British lost their empire. Europe became second to the US, a new power. Now, is the US in such a position that they can risk it all over this Palestinian, or let's be honest, over Gaza? No. The whole point of Israel is you secure our interests, you make it easy for us, we make it easy for you, right? And we support you.
Do you have any evidence what you're saying?
Any evidence?
Yeah. Like, has there ever been a time when America said, nah, sorry, Israel, we're not going to support you on this one, you're alone?
What's your question? Oh, you're alone? No. Why would that be the question, though?
No, I'm asking.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time in human history?
Human
history, you know, in Israel, I don't know, American history, that, you know, thing turned around and said, America said, sorry, Israel, we're not going to support you on this.
Oh, I think I've already answered this question, but I'll answer again. The answer is no. I don't think so, not that I'm aware of, and I don't think it's likely. It's good enough to see the US as, sorry, it's as good as, you might as well see Israel as the 51st state, second only to Washington, probably. It seems like Israel is more important than Texas. I
think Israel is the capital.
One could argue that, yeah. One could. The capital of the US is Israel. Yeah. The most important state, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it, but
it could be. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
But you don't hit people with your face, you know.
Yeah. You know? But what I'm wondering is,
yeah,
this is what I'm wondering, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, America and Israel get along. They're best friends. They're family, right?
Yeah.
So they can support each other for thick and thin, right?
Yeah.
It's
and thin and thick.
Thin and thick, yeah. Pause all the way. But anyways,
where's your mind going?
I know, bro. That's why I hate this pause shit, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, they get your mind elsewhere. But the thing is, yeah, it's so effed up, this pause thing, bro.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if that's the case, right? What's the problem with America being family or best friends with Israel? Like, you know what I mean? What's the problem? What's the problem with them supporting them at everything they do? Like, I'm starting to think that people are just hating. They don't like the idea that, you know, Israel got America as a best friend, as a family. Like, and the thing is, it's like, yo, at the end of the day, just accept that these are the facts. They support them from thin and thick and thin, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, accept that that's a reality. That's it. End of.
Your statement of Israel might as well be a capital. It's not even support. It's a part of it's a part of the US pretty much in every metric you can think of it, financially, militarily, tech, what do they call it? Secret service or no? What's the word?
Yeah.
Intelligence wise, they are one and the same.
But are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
Like, do you respect the fact that they are like family? They're like best
The
friends.
idea of Israel and the US being one and the same, in the same sense that if somebody punches me with their right fist, I'm not going to assume their left fist is going to do something else or has nothing to do with it. It's all the same thing. It's nonsense to reject the idea, but I don't think anybody's entertaining that idea.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, are you okay? If you, it's like, do you accept that that's okay?
I just told you. Oh, okay, morally?
Yeah, like, look, they're best friends. They're gonna ride for each other. It's cool.
I don't know why I would even have an opinion on it. I'm not an American citizen. I don't.
Because I truly reckon that if people accepted that,
Yeah.
if they accepted the idea that America will always support Israel and Israel is like a family to them,
But they do.
Like,
who doesn't? Who
yeah,
doesn't?
but what I'm saying is, if that's the case,
Yes.
I think people would be like, well, it is what it is. If they just accepted that that's a reality, and look, I don't accept certain friendships or certain, you know what I mean, like,
Or just some guy
yeah,
marrying a woman.
yeah, like, I don't accept certain countries supporting another country always, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, the concept of best friends or family, you know what I mean, like, people support each other for wrong and right all the time.
Nobody's asking the US not to support Israel outside of the US.
So I don't get what the problem is. They want Gaza's out.
Yeah.
They'll go out.
But what's the problem with saying I don't agree with your moral perspective and I am going to live and die by it? What's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have to be consistent.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Yeah. The US is saying we want to give Gaza to Israel fully from the last statement. I mean, assuming this is what assuming Trump really means what he's saying, right? Which I don't. And then nobody's saying we support you, but we don't support Israel. It's one and the same. Everybody's seeing it as one and this. Nobody's questioning their commitment to Israel at all. All they're saying is we do not consent to this grape. And anybody can say that. Anybody can say, I will fight you to the last death for your moral perspective over my moral boundaries.
Yeah, and the thing is, I actually respect that. But as long as people accept they're gonna die,
that's what we're negotiating. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah,
is it to be all? Has the hammer been set down that the US says this is what we want, and since Israel wants it and we want it, you will face death, and we will succeed in subduing you? No.
No. So far, the US said we're gonna relocate you and we're gonna give you flat screen TVs.
Yeah. And Saudi said no. Egypt said no. Jordan said no.
But who cares what they say?
We do not support that. This is the thing. Now we're going back to the point.
Are they going to be able to stop anything? You already said that they're not even capable of stopping America. So who cares what they think?
I tell you why they should care. I tell you why the US should care.
Go ahead.
I've said it already like three or four times.
I want to hear this. Go ahead.
I've said it three or four times.
No, you didn't. No, you haven't.
But I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Let's say Saudi wakes up and says, you know what? I'm willing to take this to the grave. I'm not accepting. Change your plans.
There'll be a lot of bodies.
Change your plans. Oh my God. Change your plans, or we're gonna have to go our separate ways. And the US is gonna say, you're going nowhere. Just like we told you when you did the oil embargo, which I'm gonna put up. And by the way, you usually do your podcast 2 hours. I was hoping to do an extra 15 minutes on another topic that kind of relates to this. And this goes back to one of the reasons I'm actually on this podcast. I'll show you a clip later. And I think Aaron actually mentioned it a minute ago. But I'll cover it again because it really irritates me as a Muslim living in the West. But I'll come back to that, right? the US could say, if you decide to go and do something else, if you decide, you know what, we're not going to accept this, and the US says, yes, you will, because you don't have nuclear weapons. We are the military power. You and all your friends could take us on and we'll still win. All right. The whole of the Middle East could take us on and we still win, let alone you. And plus, you're buying our weapons. So who are you going to fight us with? We just turn off the off switch on your weapon. So it doesn't even make sense that you'd fight us with our own weapons. Plus, we don't sell you the best stuff. We've got some stuff for ourselves, that we haven't sold you because we're not stupid. Right. At that point, China could say, hey, holler at us, man. Russia could say, hey, they're not gonna, they may beef you, but they won't beef us. We've got your back. And at that point, do you think the US would go to war with China and Russia? That's the question. And I say no.
Nah, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.
Let's do that. Another topic then. In the future, maybe. Russia,
Right.
China versus America. Would America cross that line? But they're looking to. They've set measures in place to, they're ready to fight at any point, seems like. But that's my only hope, to be honest with you, for the Middle East surviving any direct disobedience. And I'm using that word clearly. And I mean that. When I say disobedience, I mean the Middle East is obedient to US interests and Western interests. Just to cast any doubt over my ability to have critical thinking and think without emotion, right? If the US tomorrow says no more military aid to Egypt, the Egyptian military falls apart. If the US says, you know what, Saudi, we've got more oil than you. We've got enough oil. We've got enough everything. In fact, we can just go to South America. We could invade the South Americans. Look what we actually might be doing. And we'll just go down there, we'll get our oil from there. And we'll just take over Venezuela. They've got more oil than you. We've got a decent amount of oil. We don't need your oil.
True.
There's nothing the Middle East could do. They are out of business with a flick of a pen. What's this?
This is Lamar Passmore. Shouts to you, Lamar Passmore. It says, and he will descend at the white minaret in the eastern side of Damascus. Sahih Muslim 2937a. I think it's quoting a hadith.
Yes, Sahih Muslim is a book of hadith, yes.
I'm not sure what that means. Descend at the white minaret in the eastern side of Damascus.
Have you heard of this? And this is going to go back to the point that I wanted to make, and I asked you for an extra 15 minutes after.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Come on.
Do you remember this hadith? Remember what Lamar said?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Please clarify.
No. Remember when we get to that point. Remember what I said.
Okay.
We'll cover this. We'll cover this sort of. I'll shift towards that.
All right.
So it's good. Okay. So as I said, if the U.S. tomorrow decides, Saudi, you do not have our protection anymore, assuming there's no China and Russia, there's no other superpowers waiting in the wings to support them, right? Because let's be honest, if Israel is established by the US, so is Saudi. Saudi was established by the US. The US did say, we'll give you protection. We'll give you, even to the point where they went to Kuwait to kick out the Iraqis on behalf of the Saudis. The Saudis didn't lift a finger. First Gulf War, right? To this day, they still support Saudi interests, right? There is no doubt about the idea that what you're negotiating with is, when I say what I mean is the Middle East. The Middle East would have to lose everything. They'd have to barter and put everything on the table for them to even, how can I say, come to the table when it comes to negotiating with Saudi. They'd have to say, well, we will. What I mean by this is the military budget is larger than most of these economies put together. The U.S. military budget alone is larger than the forget about the stock market, forget about the industries, forget about everything else. The military budget alone is larger than a lot of these places. A lot of these countries in the Middle East do not exist without the U.S. The U.S. says we're not supporting Saudi. Straight away, the Houthis are coming in. It becomes Yemeni property very quickly. The U.S. says we're not supporting Egypt. Egypt disappears. Libya comes in maybe, or somebody. It just becomes absolute chaos. The U.S., the Middle East arguing militarily with the U.S. is a bit like arguing with your employer, your landlord, your water supply company, your electricity company. You're starving very quickly. You're going back to the desert very quickly, immediately. And what they will do is, well, you say we have a lot of money in the U.S. We own a lot of investments in the U.S. It's seized immediately. Like, okay, this is your money. Yeah, this is our money now. You're not getting it back. All your investments in Washington, buying the Shard in London. You know what I'm talking about, Octavio, right?
Yeah.
So there is no doubt. Right? I'm doubling down on that because I want to make it very clear that there is no balance here. There is no, we might have a fighting chance. We might, we can, it's out of the favor of the US to even have these types of negotiations if it wasn't for these external factors like China and Russia.
Mm.
Now, I want to play this video. You can see it there.
I thought he was lighting a cigarette.
I don't smoke.
What, weed?
Anything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Arab foreign ministers from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and the UAE have united in their rejection of forced displacement of Palestinians. They've also voiced hope of working with Donald Trump on a two-state solution. But on Thursday, U.S. President Trump once again insisted that Egypt and Jordan will take in Palestinians from Gaza. Listen to this.
Egypt's president.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that was funny.
On Thursday, U.S. President Trump once again insisted that Egypt and Jordan will take in Palestinians from Gaza. Listen to this.
Egypt's president and the King of Jordan have both said that they won't take in displaced people.
Fair use, just in case. Fair use.
Fair use.
From Gaza, like you suggested. Is there anything you can do to make them do that? I mean, tariffs against those countries, for example?
They will do it. They will do it.
What makes you say that?
They're going to do it. Okay? We do a lot for them, and they're going to do it.
Boys,
Let's discuss this. I'm joined by...
do you see why, Hassan, you see why I'm always right?
You always think you're right. I know that much.
All right, cool, fine, whatever. But did you see that? You gotta love Trump for that. Yeah. Listen, guys, I don't believe in conservative, liberal political parties. I only believe in the Christian party. But you gotta love him for that. They will do it. That was his only answer. They will do it. Don't watch nothing. They will do it, bro. How can? Anyways, all right, go ahead. Play the rest of the video. Sorry, that was funny.
By Mohammed El-Masri, professor of media studies at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. I don't know what to say. They're going to do it. But Donald Trump's not saying how, why, what. Well, he did indicate that they have leverage, right? He says we do a lot for them. Mm-hmm. What do you make of this?
Well, they do have leverage. But first of all, let's remember that Donald Trump has made all kinds of promises and actually guarantees that have not actually come to fruition. I don't know that he's being advised by the right people. I don't know that he has a very strong understanding of Middle East politics and affairs. But the reality is this, that if the Egyptians and Jordanians or any other Arab country were to take in mass numbers of Palestinians, there would be very grave political consequences for those for those governments. And I think that whatever incentives there might be, there's been this discussion of debt relief for Egypt, potentially a lot of money for a country that is really struggling economically. But my sense is that Sisi, the president of Egypt, Abdel Fattah Sisi, would understand that the political cost of such an arrangement would be too great for his government to bear. He has not been a friend of the Palestinians per se over the years. I think that's putting it lightly. But I also don't necessarily think that he wants a second Nakba catastrophe to occur on his watch. So I think it's very unlikely that this ends up happening. I can't say it's impossible, but I would be very surprised if that ends up happening. And we shouldn't also, completely discount the Palestinians from this discussion. It's not just a political, they're not just sort of chess pieces. The Palestinians have made it very clear that they don't want to go anywhere. This is their homeland, and they're not going to be pushed out by anybody.
Well, this is the thing. Just reminding our viewers, Donald Trump. This all started because Donald Trump says about 1.5 million Palestinians can be relocated to Jordan and Egypt, which, by the way, another word for that is ethnic cleansing. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to our viewers that removing Palestinians from their land is precisely what is at the heart of this conflict and has been since the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, we can go all the way back to 1948. I mean, inbuilt into this whole project to create the state of Israel was the idea of population transfer. And actually, Benny Morris, one of the leading Israeli historians, has written about this, and he's acknowledged that this was inbuilt. That's actually his word that he has used, and that's exactly what
he called it ethnic cleansing.
Exactly, and that's what happened. In 1948, you had hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who were forcibly removed from their homes. They became refugees, and many thousands also killed. And now we know that Israel has aspirations for what they call Greater Israel, based on their interpretation of the Bible. They believe that they are entitled to all of this land, including the West Bank and Gaza, and also beyond, and to Jordan and Syria and parts of Egypt and Saudi Arabia. That is very much a dream of the Israeli political elite. They talk about it openly. It's something that's very deeply rooted in Israeli politics and in Zionist philosophy, and they do want to try to expand. I don't have any doubt about that. That's part of what's at the heart of this very aggressive program of settlement expansion in the West Bank, which is a kind of ethnic cleansing, but just sort of in relative slow motion. The question that we're asking now, though, is that, is someone going to facilitate this? Because Israel needs some help. They're going to need help from the Americans, from the Egyptians, from the Jordanians, from the international community. And I have grave doubts about whether or not they're going to get that help.
Mohammed al-Masri, thank you very much for joining us this hour. Thank you.
Thanks.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.
Now, that just gives an indication that these surrounding countries aren't going to play ball so easily. Something major has to happen for this plan to come to fruition. I just don't see it happening. I'm pessimistic. I'm not pessimistic. I'm hopeful that this doesn't go through. That Trump is just overreaching and he can't fulfill this, and it's a bait and switch, meaning we offer something outrageous. And then we offer something less outrageous, and you take what's less outrageous, which is most likely the case. You asked me a question quite a while ago. The question was, do I blame Hamas for what's going on? Hamas, in its endeavors and its pursuits and its actions since pretty much the beginning, has been the biggest curse to the people of Gaza I can think of. They've consistently made things, set things in the wrong direction. If this is what October 7th has led to, why would anybody entertain the idea that Hamas isn't a bigger enemy to the people of Gaza than Israel is?
Why would we not entertain it? Yeah, I would. I always thought that Hamas is the real enemy. I reckon that Hamas had um, diabolical goals, and what made the diabolical look. You know, they don't want Israel. They think they own the land and blah blah. I don't even care about that. It's the fact that they were willing to sacrifice their own people. They were willing to um, almost enslave their own people, you know, to achieve their goals. It's like, listen, if you don't remember what they did when they gained power, they killed the other political opposition. They shut them all dead. You know what I mean? They've been ruling the Palestinian people with fear. Um, to me, Hamas is the real terrorist in here. Now, Hamas was stupid enough to play into Israel's, you know, plots, plans, and all of that. And Israel has taken advantage of it. I mean, it's really simple. This whole thing is really, really simple. It's Hamas. Hamas is to blame. If Hamas just decided to, you know, with all the money that they've received from, you know, internet, from Iran and all, you know, from the, you know, even Israel, it's like if they were to use that money and then just invest in it, you know, in its own people, in building infrastructure, you know, hospitals, schools, educating and all that. Instead, they decided to use all that money in order to invest in weapons to attack Israel. And you know, Israel played the game, and now it backfired. It backfired hugely, and now they're suffering the consequences of it. It is what it is.
Yeah, so that's that. They've made a statement. If you want to hear the statement in response to the whole, we're going to.
So can I just give my reaction to that video?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that guy is talking nonsense, in my opinion. Because if I was to, I'm gonna put my money on Trump. Why? Because Trump is the leader of the most powerful country in the world. So that's what I'm going to put my money on. I'm not going to put, I'm not going to put my money on his analysis of the situation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that his analysis is invalid or anything of that nature, but I do think that, you know, when it comes to to America and Israel, they have a special relationship, like Tony Blair said about America and the UK. They have a special relationship, and from what we've seen is America always delivers when it comes to fulfilling Israel's goals. And one thing I will agree with him on is that this was always Israel's plan to take over that land, and I completely agree with that, and I'm okay with that. They want the Muslims out, you know, and let the best man win. You know, that's what I say. Let the best man win. Whoever has more power will win at the end of the day. That's just a fact. And people might not like that because they're coming from a, you know, morally, I think that, you know, it should be like this. Well, the Jews feel differently. Now we've got Negus Afrodan, was it Afrodanado? I hope I'm saying it right. Don't let Arab halal stores run us out like white Christians did Black America. FBA soul food stores in Dearborn.
Dearborn's, I think, in the US, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
FBA,
thank you, brother,
Black American.
For understanding us, Habisha. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Arab and Egyptian YouTuber like Moa Jamin, Underminers, and Ethiopian Grand Dam. Okay. Shouts to you, Negus. Welcome to the channel as well. But yeah, it's to me, it's just very simple. So I believe that the most powerful, you know, it's like survival of the fittest, isn't it? The most powerful nation is doing, you know, you can disagree with it, but then again, that turns into a moral argument if you disagree with what they're doing. But to me, I care more about the Palestinian people being safe instead of completely being destroyed, rather than, and you know, I understand the argument of, you know, but this is their land. Well, the Jews feel differently, and and both have arguments, you know, to contribute to it. What matters to me, we will never be able to solve that. That's what I'm saying. We'll never be like, okay, the Jews are right, or the Palestinians are right.
But you said that wrong though.
Hold on, let me just finish this.
Yeah.
We will never, ever, 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 ever be able to, you know, because they're always going to be arguing from their perspective about who owns, you know, if it's about owning the land. So to me, it's just a question of who's more powerful and who can take it. And right now, Israel is in that position. They're going to take it. End of. People can like it or not like it. Black Power family. Niggas, I don't believe in Black Power. I believe in Christ power. Actually, not even the word Christ power, you know, it's a bit weird. But I believe that Christianity is the solution, sister. She turns around and says, F their safety. Whoa. Come on, come on. Dubai is a slave state to the Arab male group care for your expendable black lives in Libya. Do you know what she's talking about there? Do you know what she's talking about there, Hamas? Have some self-respect.
My name is Hassan, not Hamas.
Hassan.
You call me.
Hassan, do you know what she was talking about there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm well aware.
Dubai is a slave state to the Arab male group care for your expendable black lives in Libya. Do you know what she's talking about there?
Oh, do you know? Or are you asking me? Or
yeah, I'm asking you. I don't know.
Okay, so black people, they travel through Libya to get to Europe, and they're sold into slavery, tortured, beaten, burnt, humiliated, treated horribly. But you're a Christian background, so I don't think you believe in collective punishment. I don't think that you believe that somebody being punished for hurting somebody, if a man hurts someone, doesn't mean his brother need to deserve to be punished. That's not true. I'm Muslim. I think the same thing. I think the people who commit horrible acts against people, whether they be black or white, or blue or purple or whatever, need to be punished. But that doesn't mean that the people of Gaza need to be bombed or killed for something that somebody else did. I don't think that's the case. And I don't think race has come up as a topic in our discussion so far.
Yeah, Negus, we're kind of focusing on a different topic right now, but I know exactly what you're talking about. When it comes, a lot of in Sudan, especially, the slave trade is very much alive in those areas. There, you're absolutely right, Negus, when it comes to that. But I think she's coming from more of a black power ideology. 200 dark-skinned women in Sudan unalive themselves, but you care for pale Arabs. I don't care for pale Arabs at all. That is messed up. The level of slave trade that's going on in that part of the world. Who's causing the genocide in Sudan today?
It's the UAE, but it's ended now. So
okay. That is why Christian is the weakest. Nigeria negotiating with terrorists, Boko Haram, no security for black women under expendable black Christian male leadership.
Haram is black. They're black people.
Look, found FBA women walking bullet bags cause FBA Christian men is emasculating. Do you know what, Negus? You should jump in, and we can talk about
how Christian men are.
Yeah, how weak Christians are. We can talk about that definitely. But if you want to jump in, there is hold on, because we're finishing up our conversation right now. But that's the link right there. Negus can jump in if you want to jump in. If you have a few things to say,
all opinions welcome. All perspectives.
I disagree. Yeah, all opinions are welcome. I disagree with you that Christians are weak. I think they need to be more faithful to their cause, but Christianity is definitely not weak. But yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think generally concluding, I was gonna add another topic, but it might not a slight side topic. The side topic. You remember that video that we did about Andrew Tate and my frustration as a Muslim?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, she's Jewish. because there's a lot of African Jews. There's a lot of Jews in Africa.
She's Jewish?
Yeah, there's a lot of Jews. There are a lot of black Jews. There's a lot of black Jews. So it says here, Negus. I think Negus is. I think it's a. I think it's Aramaic or it's. I've heard that word before. I've heard that name.
Well, isn't she Black American?
But
Are you Black American niggas? They eradicate for their offspring and white female group security. That is why Black Christian men is trash in Eritrea and Ethiopia. No, she's so wrong on that. Niggas,
it's a title. The name is a title. Ethiopian. Yeah, Habasha. Habasha. Oh yes, I wasn't reading properly. That's Ethiopian. She's Habasha.
She's what?
Ethiopia. Habasha. That's a tribe, or I think it's another way of saying Ethiopian.
Ethiopia has never been colonized, and it's mainly Christian, and it's been Christian, and it has resisted being taken over by different groups since the beginning. So, yeah, she's a Jew. Okay, all right.
Habasha is Ethiopia. Shout out to my Habashas. They're great people.
Oh yeah, so you know them, yeah.
I'm from.
Shouts to you. I don't know if do you follow the Talmud? Niggas?
Oh, she wouldn't be. That's a European thing. Isn't it?
Oh, she wouldn't. Okay.
But how Ethiopians in
that's not European, bro. The Talmud was written between. It's the commentaries of the.
But who is it written by?
Sorry.
Who is it written by?
By different what are they called? Yeah, it's like basically it's like they comment on the Torah and the Ketuvim and the Nevim, and they basically make commentaries. That's what the Talmud is, just commentaries on that. That's what it is. And it was written, it came before the Quran, bro. 500 AD was already written.
But again, it wasn't written in the Ethiopian Jews predate the Torah, so they wouldn't. Sorry, the Talmud. They predate the Talmud, so it wouldn't apply to them.
Just talking about the white, the sin that people commit. They still worship white Jesus. I don't think there's such a thing as white Jesus. I don't think that exists. There is Jesus, which is in the Bible, and the Bible doesn't call him white Jesus. Now there's different nations that portray him at different as different colors, but there's no such thing as white Jesus. I think, Negus, your problem is you into color superiority. I think you believe that your color makes you more superior than another race, which is very sinful to believe in that.
Can I just give a shout out to Rashid, who's listening? Habasha women are the most gorgeous. I know I'm off topic. Sorry, guys.
Rashid, this guy, Rashid, really, they're the most gorgeous, this guy. Habesha women are the most gorgeous. I know I'm off topic, sorry guys. Yeah, but Negus is coming through as a bit of a racist, to be honest with you. Cynthia G, Cynthia G is a feminist. Negus, what are you doing? She's a feminist. She believes in murdering babies and female superiority. She doesn't believe in the natural order of God, men, women, children. What's wrong with you, Cynthia? You need to stop that nonsense. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yes. Is that a celebrity or something?
Who?
Cynthia G.
Cynthia G is basically a feminist female supremacist who hates men, especially black men.
Oh, wow.
That's what Cynthia G is. She's just a product of feminism. That's all it is. I consider all feminists to be baby killers. So you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't subscribe to that ideology. Yeah, go ahead. The most conquered the white lusting male Negro Christians. The most conquered the what is that? White lusting male Negroid Christians. Niggas, I don't know. Is niggas aware that lust is a worldwide problem and it's not specific to a certain race? that lust is a sin, niggas. It's not every man, you know, suffers the consequences of lust. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Sorry, bro.
Niga says, thanks, guys. I'm a cross-dressing Habasha gay. That means I must be doing great than basic black women. I think you jumped the gun there, Rashid. I think you jumped the gun there.
I'm a cross-dressing Habisha gay. That means, is she female?
It depends on your worldview. If you think cross-dressing transgender people are women and how they identify them, yeah, then sure, by your definition.
Yeah, I think she's part of the LGBTQ. Is she? Do you think she's part of the LGBTQ
Well,
group?
she said, yeah, got the rainbow flag. Nice
Yeah.
talking, Negus.
Yeah, niggas, you're a bit lost, man. You need help. But yeah, I mean, if you're brave enough, you can jump in on the live and have a chat with us. But yeah, what you follow is evil, man. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So to conclude in I guess final thoughts. You want to do final thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, niggas kind of threw us off the ball, in it a little bit.
One of these. This is one of these live midnight
said,
coffee.
I am a boy, you're low IQ Christian mega bum. Damn. I guess I am because she said it. That's a boy? You got a picture of a, okay, all right. Remember, I was asking if it was a boy or girl. So it looks like it's a boy. Damn, these people are lost. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts.
Okay, yeah, so final thoughts. You agree it's wrong. I agree it's wrong to ethnic cleanse people, which is what's going on here. I think Hamas is the greatest failure in military strategy you can think, unless things turn out differently. Armed resistance against a nation that is fully supported militarily by the US, and that I'm just reading the comment thing.
Reading the comments, bro.
It's horrific, the idea that Trump is suggesting, but I think Trump is quite a smart guy. I think he has some of the best advisors in the world around him. I think he's not foolish. I think the idea is present something really, really abhorrent, really just unacceptable, which is kicking out the Palestinians.
Go ahead, bro. You're losing your train of thought because of the comments.
Yeah, let me turn my phone around. Okay. So now I can't see the comments. So you can still hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I'm paying attention to everything you're saying.
No, it's just I turned my phone around so I can't see the comments now. So I'm not sure if you can hear me, but okay, you can hear me. So yeah, I think Trump's plan is to kick things to get things moving in some sort of direction that puts this whole Hamas Israel back and forth situation, because nothing has moved forward. Hamas has been a problem to Gaza for a long while, and this is maybe me being hopeful, because Egypt has now come out and said that they're going to help rebuild Gaza, and they're going to take effort in getting involved in what's going on in the situation in Gaza to try to move things forward. Now, if that's the plan, that if Trump presented this idea to really shock people into taking action, and in a sense reminding everybody in the Middle East that we can really push things forward in a way that really doesn't benefit you if you don't take action and responsibility. Because Jordan didn't take responsibility when Israel was dropping bombs. They didn't come in and say, hey, could you guys just stop? They did try to negotiate a ceasefire, but they could have said, you know what, we'll step in, we'll try to establish political change in Gaza, because I can see how this is causing a problem in terms of getting towards peace in Gaza and between Gaza and Israel. They didn't do that. They just let the bombing go on, try to go through negotiations and releasing hostages. And they didn't bring up the idea of getting rid of Hamas, trying to establish political change in Israel, in Gaza, because firing rockets into Israel can only last for so long before Israel reacts. Running into Gaza, to do October 7th, it's such a horrifically stupid thing. There's many people that paid with their lives for that decision. I think Trump's decision is to get the Arab nations more involved in what's going on. And Egypt has already said we're going to come in and help rebuild the situation and take up the cost and carry this heavy load in terms of trying to get to the road to peace. And if that's the case, if this is his greater plan, he's done very well, because the Arab nations have sat around for too long, not taking greater initiative in trying to resolve peace talks and trying to push things forward as quickly, because it's an emergency situation, right? Before October 7th, it was still an emergency. If you're firing rockets into another territory, another country, and instigating things, it's an emergency to try to resolve the situation. And things are moving forward from that perspective. I hope the people of Gaza aren't annexed. I hope Gaza isn't annexed. I hope the people of Gaza aren't kicked out. I hope the Middle East, the surrounding Arab nations take greater initiative to get things going and really take actual involvement, which would mean, in my mind, having security force in Gaza, whether it be Egyptian, whether it be whether it be Egyptian, Jordanian, Saudi, Qatar, whoever. Somebody needs to be there and to stop these rockets being fired over, because Hamas is just really the greatest threat to the people of Gaza, second only to Israel. But Israel doesn't have much chance to enact these type of offensives if it wasn't for Hamas. So from that perspective, Trump might have made the right decision by threatening this action. And I hope it's just a threat. I hope he won't go through with it. I hope the people of Gaza still stay in their land. Last point. For those people living, I'm talking to the Muslim community now, for those Muslims living in Europe, protesting in the streets, waving the flags, saying Hamas are freedom fighters, or they're doing the right thing. We need to go back to the borders of 1963 or 1967. Shut up. Shut up. You do not want the people of Gaza to leave. And you do not want Israel to have the land it has. Both of those are stupid options. Both of those, and this is what it leads to. Do not make this a love affair. Stop falling in love with the idea of from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. No, just if anything, Israel's getting more control. They come on, grow up. Okay, that's my final thought.
I think I know what you was gonna say there. If anything, is someone else being taken to the sea, because they have they've got more control now, over Gaza.
And Syria.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. To me, I think this is the best outcome for Palestinians. At least the Palestinians will be safe, will be able to raise their children, and not worrying about being killed because of Hamas and because of Hamas's agenda. So to me, this is the best thing. This is the best outcome for Palestinians. I care about their safety. Who conquers what land? I don't really care about it. The reason why I don't care about it is because it's a reality. It's something that has happened all throughout human history. Different countries conquer different countries. That's just something that's always happened. You can't control that. Are Palestinians going to be happy with it? Being removed from that land? No, they're not going to be happy with it. But who cares about what they are happy with? It's about their safety. And to me, they are now safe. They're going to be safe, even, you might not like it, but it's not about what you like. It's about being safe. So I think this is the best outcome for Palestinians. And anyone who disagrees, you're behaving like Hamas. You want the Palestinian people to keep dying. You want them to keep, you want to keep sacrificing them, for the hopes of having a land, which can be argued both ways. as far as who belongs to that land. The Jews can turn around and say, well, we've been here all this time. And the Palestinians say, well, the Romans conquered you, and then they got rid of you, and we've been on this land ever since then. So it's our land. So both can make arguments. So to me, it's like talking about who the land belongs to is a waste of time. Not talking about the safety of people, I think it's much more important. And the one with the biggest guns are usually going to be the ones who are going to dictate the terms. And this is what we are seeing right now. America has the biggest guns. Israel has the biggest guns, so they are dictating the term. Is this going to happen? Is Egypt going to come to Palestinians' aid, and all the other countries, all the other Muslims? No, they're not. I don't believe so. I don't believe it's going to happen. I don't believe they're going to risk their relationship with America in order to come to the come to the aid of the Palestinians. I don't think that's what's going to happen. So, and people might not like that. Well, tough. It is what it is. Who likes what's going on right now in thingy? The Jews do, and that's really all that matters. Because they are the strongest right now. They believe that land belongs to them, and they use the Hamas in order to get what they want. And Hamas played along. Hamas is so stupid, it's unbelievable. They literally played along, because I believe the whole thing was planned out, personally, and the intention was always to remove the Palestinians out of that land. And Hamas did it, man. Hamas did it for them. But what matters is that Palestinian people are going to be safe. They're going to have their own little, what was it? Flat screen TVs. They're going to have swimming pools, and they're going to live happily for the rest of their lives. I think that's great. That's fantastic. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. What else is this niggas? Why does she call it niggas? It's like she's gonna make me say the word nigger, bro.
No, it's the Ethiopian word. It's negus.
I don't even think that this person here, this image that's on the screen, this person that's right, I don't even think they're Ethiopian, to be honest with you. I think they're just chatting breeze. Yeah, you're trying to act like you can create stability in the Arab world when Haiti and Africa is unstable. Yeah, it's unstable because of corruption. Black Christians so dumb and expendable. What? Why does she say that? What is she hoping that these black Christians? What does she want these black Christians to do in order to not be dumb and expendable? That's what I want to know. Why would any self-respecting male group take your advice? Because it's the truth. If that was directed at me, because it's the truth. Black men, the underlings of the world. Black men, the underlings of the world. What's underlings, bro? What's that?
Underling. That's like a servant, a minion.
A minion. Okay. What does she want black men to do?
Underlinks. I don't know what underlinks are, but underlings.
Okay. So she's expecting what, the black men to have, I don't know what, weapons and kill people, and is that the?
Well, you keep saying she. Negus is a he.
It's a he, in it. Yeah. But it's got a picture of a woman there. Negus. Negus, this is Hassan. Okay. All right. That was you. All right. Okay. Anyways, that was the final thought, guys. Shouts to Rashid. Shouts to, I don't know. Shouts to Aaron, bro. Negus, I don't know who you are, man. I wanted you to jump in. Everyone's always too shook to jump in. I'm not sure why. If you still want to jump in, here's the link, but you would have to do it quickly because we're about to end this live. We've been at it for 2 hours and 28 minutes. Shout out to everyone watching the channel right now. I think we had a great. Do you think we had a great conversation, bro?
Yeah, but I think me and you pretty much agree. Third person would be great. I mean, we agree that the Palestinian people should not be kicked out of their land. Their safety is
Yep,
important.
I agree with that.
Don't play with fire. Don't start something you can't finish. Hamas is a joke. Negus is a man. We agree. we agree on a lot of things. And I agree. The reason I can agree with you is not because I hate the Palestinian people or that I think that's Christian land or Jewish land or whatever nonsense it is. I'm a Muslim. I do not believe in foolish. I do not believe in the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said a believer isn't stung by the same hole twice. He isn't stung by the same hole twice. You stick your hand in the hole, you get stung. Don't stick your hand in there again. That's the character trait of a believer. A believer is a Muslim, is not a fool. And when your best option is to go down the path of negotiations, go down that path. When your best path is to go down the path of fighting, go down that path. But do not. And the Quran goes into great details. Do not exceed your limits. Do not be foolish. Do not do this. Do not do that. So I look at the whole Israel-Palestine situation, and it reminds me of something I genuinely disdain. And you know me, and for those who don't know me, I do not care about. In most cases, I don't care about national identity. I don't care about nationhood. I don't care about. There's a lot of things I just genuinely don't care for. And when I look at the Palestinian cause, from the river to the sea, we will be free, so on and so forth. Palestine will be free, and so on and so forth. I think, well, this is Arab nationalism being disguised as Islamic, as an Islamic cause. Well, I'm not an Arab, and the Arab nationalist identity doesn't serve me, nor does it serve the Arabs. It got them to betray, or not to betray, but to go to war with the Ottomans, and to side with foreign nations that do not support your Islamic interests. And this is why we're here. We're here because the Middle East chose Arab nationalism over Islamic unity, and we're just going in a tizzy. And it frustrates me because it gets people killed. I don't know who can look at the graves of those said to be 50,000, but I hear figures of closer to 100,000 people. It doesn't help. You can't put a Palestinian flag over their dead bodies and say, look, it was all worth it. Hamas has said it on numerous occasions, we are ready to die and our people are ready to die. I don't like the idea of people dying for something that they can avoid. Don't die. I do not want the death of Palestinian people. I do not want them to die for this, at least. If they die for their religion, if they die for the sake of Allah, meaning they want to protect their homeland, they want to protect their identity, that's cool. But as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2017, 16, all these years, Israel wasn't throwing rockets into Gaza. And if they were, it wasn't to the point where it was killing masses of people. And then Walker said, oh, well, Hamas is throwing rockets and they haven't killed many Palestinians, Israelis. Well, you're trying, it seems like. It seems like you got your own land. It's not great. You got a blockade. There's suffering, of course, and there's poverty and things like this. But let me show you something. One second. Hold on, my niggas. You still there?
I'm still here, bro. No worries, bro.
Okay, 1 second. Because I don't like people dying needlessly, especially for poetry and music and songs, and I like what are these songs worth if and these stupid marches in London, I've been to these marches, just people walking around smoking cigarettes, shouting in the distance for nothing, over nonsense, and they think they're doing something, and it's like, well, you're not doing anything. You're just causing traffic. Okay. Oh my God, my internet's slow. Okay. is really horrible to. Okay. I'm gonna check. You still here?
Come on, bro.
Yeah. You're awfully quiet. Usually you're interrupting. But okay. Okay, you got it?
Yeah, got it.
I don't know if I should play the audio, but
Why? What's wrong with that?
What doesn't help. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, look, you see that?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Gaza is an open air prison?
Yes, I have. Yes.
This is a pretty fancy prison to me. Look at that. This is a before and after Gaza.
Right. Let's look.
This is what they said. This is what they threw out. This is what Hamas decided to gamble away, and this is what they got in return. This is what got the people of Hamas in return, and the people of Gaza in return. Look at this. Beautiful.
Wow.
Looks like Damascus in 2010.
Yeah.
Would you go holiday there just based on the looks? Just based on the
Yeah.
You wouldn't have any problem. Like you'd enjoy your falafel or your machantachen or whatever it is.
Yo, Arabs can throw down when it comes to cooking, bro. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I would definitely go there, man. Whoa. Oh, that's wrong. That is so wrong, man.
Look at this.
Wow. Utterly destroyed. That's crazy.
And I've been to the Middle East a few times. Beautiful weather, beautiful people, nice atmosphere, great people.
Did you go and visit where Jesus was born?
I've never been to Jerusalem. It seems kind of politically divisive, that place. I'm not that kind of interested. But you see the point I'm making. What was it?
Yo.
Yeah. What was it all for? What was it?
For an ideology. They believed our land belonged to them.
But this is the Jews. Oh well, and this is the thing. As I made clear to you, this is not based in Islam.
No, Hamas believes that land belongs to them.
The whole of Israel, from the river to the sea.
Whatever the ideology, what I'm saying is, whatever the ideology is, it got them to this point.
It's not Islam. I'm telling you now, and this is my frustration. It makes us Muslims look foolish because there is the desire to say this is Islamic. This is not Islamic. Because if it was, there'll be a lot more countries like this that are willing to throw away everything, which is not the case. Look at this.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
Right now,
that's wrong, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, they leveled the place, huh?
Yeah. This is Khan Yunis. So the point I'm making is, do not be foolish. You will pay the price. Your religion doesn't support this. Your common sense doesn't support this. And this is where we are.
Oh, that's messed up, man. Like, oh.
And this is many people dead, many people displaced. I think almost 1 million people displaced, just living in camps, living in places they're not from. Refugees in their own city, can't leave. They're being offered to leave.
You see, it's like when you see it like this, like what you're doing is showing the reality.
Look how beautiful. This is the price that they're paying.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Because when you see it, like when you look at it this way, it's like, what did you do all of that for? Like, what was the point? Damn, man. Yo, they did not mess about,
I just don't know how somebody could convince me that people Hamas are freedom fighters, that the resistance of military, you can resist politically, you can resist vocally, you can resist peacefully. But once you go down armed resistance, you're really opening up a can of worms. And this is what these worms have led to. And I think the idea of armed resistance of the Palestinian people, that should end today. Well, it should have ended before the war, but look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
What is that? Is that like
people carrying a mattress? Look at that.
Easy. Bro, you can't live in there. You can't. No. I can see what Trump was saying now. I can see what Trump was saying now when he said that place is not livable.
Yeah, it's a war zone. It's a war zone.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Let me end on this, and then I'm done, and you can say what you want to say. This is a. I want to share this video with you, and then this is Palestinian people. Actually, this is an Israeli website, so it is an Israeli YouTube channel, so I don't know how much I can believe it, but a part of me even if they're paying them, I just like, I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna play it just for those people who think they can speak for the Palestinian people. Just like, even if they're being bribed, you're not Palestinian, you don't live there, so not you, but I'm talking about those people marching in central London. You know, have you seen them in central London? From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, da 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 da. All that stuff, right? You're not in Gaza. Stop, writing love letters to a people that, they didn't even give you their address. So
من عندها صفر، لأنه هون ما ضلش حياة. هان الحياة انعدمت. يعني طلع أنت المنظر، ما ضلش في حياة هان بالمرة. أنا بطلب من ترامب نفسه يهجرنا زي ما طلب. وأنا هبقى أول واحد ههاجر. الواحد خلص برضى بالأمر الواقع، يعني هجرة، لأنه بده يعيش. بده يعيش في بلد صونه وتشيله، يعني الواحد يرفع راسه فيها. البلد إذا بلدنا مش مدور علينا، وين نروح احنا؟
من سيغادر؟ هل سيفكر في العودة لكي يعيش في خيمة؟ من لم يعش في ظروف الخيام لا يستطيع أن يحكم. للحرب الأخيرة كان يغادر غزة باستمرار عمال، طلاب، رجال أعمال. هذا المشهد كان قائم. الآن سيتضاعف هذا المشهد. حماس في المشهد سيبقى يتكرر. كل يوم سيكون عندنا عمليات قتل. يعني بعد كل معركة كانوا يقولون انتصروا غزة. ما هو الانتصار؟ نحن إذا لم يطرح قولا واحدا، إذا لم يطرح مسألة خروج حماس من المشهد السياسي، لا يمكن أن نتحدث عن شيء آخر. يعني بقية حماس سيهاجر الناس طوعي أو غير طوعي.
All right, buckle up, everyone. Looks like we're heading back to the Middle East, Gaza.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. So that's it. That's what I wanted to end on.
So even the Palestinians share my conclusion.
Well, I mean, if you've been bombed every day and you've got your country's in ruins, you're like, you know what? Just like I want to leave, and I get everybody who wants to leave voluntarily should be allowed to leave.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, yeah. I was right all along. Then.
Anyway, that's the whole point of the show, isn't it, I guess.
I was right. I was right in my analysis of the situation. I acknowledge the fact that the whole thing was a setup. I acknowledge the fact that Israel was always intending to remove the Palestinians out of that area, out of that land. That was always their intentions, and the fact that they are going to be, and the fact that they get to, that their safety is what's more important. I think, yeah, bro, I was right all along, man. And even the Palestinians agree. It's like, at the end of the day, you want to survive. You know what I mean? You want to survive. And also, I also said that Hamas, I'm sorry, but Hamas aided, knowingly or unknowingly, they aided Israel in achieving their goal. So, it is what it is, man. But yeah. Bro, we're gonna end it here, guys. Thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it, and for those that are gonna watch it in the future, this was a great conversation. Reminds me of midnight coffee, the good old days. And yeah, I hope me and Hassan do this in soon again, because I love these conversations. But yeah, it's a good pastime. Guys, take care, everyone. Peace. We'll see you guys later, man.
Take it easy.